Yeah.
Hello,
We're
welcome
here.
to Best/Worst, episode 2. We made it, guys.
Numero dos.
We made
Numero
it.
dos.
We made it.
Another week.
I'll never let go, Jack.
This is the podcast where each and every week we take an actor or director or studio, whatever.
Who's this week, Mike?
Well, we find their best/worst, and this week
Is
Leo DiCaprio.
Oh, applause for Leo.
Leo, baby.
Leo, baby.
Grab the pouch. Leo.
I'll never let go, Jack.
Mike's favorite actor. Top 5 for you.
Oh,
I would
dude,
say.
he's my favorite actor by far.
Ooh.
Hands down. Why, he's not in your top 5?
No, I know. I'm just saying. I know that you love him.
Dude,
so
it's
this
definitely my top
podcast
5.
has to go perfectly.
It does.
He definitely makes top 10 for me.
Yeah, dude, he's one of the best living actors, hands down.
For sure.
Hands down. All right. Well, this week we'll be discussing Inception
Let's get right into it.
and Critters 3.
Wow.
Yeah, top of the list, Inception. Bottom of the list, Critters 3.
Oh, my God. Critters 3. Oof.
Good old
Better
critters.
than Generation
It was better than last week.
Yeah.
Jesus.
3 people who listened to episode 1.
Yeah, we came in with a banger this week.
Came out with a banger. All right. So let's talk about Inception.
Let's get into it.
All right. Let's go through the cast real quick. Leonardo DiCaprio, obviously, as Dom Cobb,
What a name. By
The
the way.
worst name
professional
ever.
thief who specializes in conning secrets from his victims by infiltrating their dreams.
Dream within a dream.
Dream within a dream.
Dream
dude.
within a dream, within a dream, within a Taco Bell. Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Arthur, Cobb's partner. Ellen Page as Ariadne. That
Also
name, when I first saw that, I was like, what the fuck kind of name
Yeah, I
is
know. When
Ariadne?
you see it spelled.
It's such an unusual fucking name.
It's a good name for somebody with a little
you
boy
know,
body.
Once upon a time, yeah.
Yeah, what a little boy
A
bottom.
little
Yeah.
tiny manlet.
Little slim figure. Little slim thick.
What?
With a cute ass.
No, yeah. Yeah, slim thick with no thick
She doing it
boobs.
for you? She doing it for you?
Toothpick slim
She's not
thick.
doing anything for me.
Ellen Page is Ariadne, a
She's
graduate
making me
student
think
of
about a little
architecture.
brother,
What?
if I had one.
She's just a little pilgrim boy.
Tom Hardy is Eames, a sharp-tongued associate of Cobb.
Grab the pearls!
He's referred to as a fence, but his specialty is forgery.
That's a fence.
More accurately,
I've
identity
never
theft.
heard of the term. Fun fact: I never heard of the term fence. What that was or ever really meant
So
until
Red Dead?
Red Dead.
Yeah.
Really?
And now, yeah, I never really.
I didn't really know what a fence was
like
until
what
Red
it
Dead.
meant. Like I
Really?
never. Well, I never
Isn't-
even
don't-
knew what I heard it in that context. I suppose.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like I heard that from video games.
Yeah, there's got to be another.
I
I've,
video
known,
guess,
game.
I've known
yeah.
that word for a long time.
Yeah, especially I'm sure in certain
Trying to
genres
think. Maybe
too.
like maybe Skyrim, like the Thieves Guild.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I think Oblivion is where.
Yeah, like somebody you sell your shit, your stolen.
Yeah, because
shit
you
to.
have to sell stolen goods to
Yeah.
a different.
Yeah, because that was a difference.
Let's save that
It's
for the video
stolen.
game podcast.
Yeah,
Best slash
yeah.
worst.
Yeah.
Best slash worst Elder
All right.
Scrolls.
Oh, yeah, by the way, we are coming out with another podcast. It's called The Three of Us Sit
in silence.
in Silence.
It's called the Three Whack-A-Moles.
Yeah.
Can you guess what we do?
Three guys, one blanket.
Oh. Ken Watanabe as Mr. Saito, a Japanese businessman.
in here for 100 years.
I love when he has that old man stuff
He's got
on.
those long,
Oh, yeah.
long hairs.
Oh my god.
His beard is so stringy long, like it's like 100 inches long, but like almost invisible,
Yeah.
like fishing line.
yeah.
Fishing line. He's been in limbo for hundreds of years.
Oh my god.
Cobb? Cobb, is that you? Are you here in my land, my imaginary Inception, 7th level of dreamland? I've been here for 1,000 years.
Well, he plays the employer of Cobb.
Wait, wasn't there other people?
Who?
Was there other people in Limbo? Didn't he have like security guards and shit?
Yeah, but I think that those are just the people he makes up with his mind.
So really, wow! I just thought about that right at exactly this moment. Because when it was him and the wife,
Mm-hmm.
what was her name? When it was them two in the
my
fucking in limbo, they lived in limbo.
Maul.
Maul.
Maul,
When it was him and Maul, Dom and Maul living in limbo, the impression was that it was just the two of them. But there was like other people there. Like, was it a whole city full of people?
Well, I'm assuming you could fill it with your subconscious, I guess, right? They could probably have other people.
Wow, that's
If
so
they
weird.
chose
Because I just
to.
realized like he had security guards,
Mhm.
and those guys were just fucking fake people.
Yeah, this is his imagination.
Wow.
All right, anyway, let's finish out this cast. Dileep Rayo as Yusuf, the dude who makes the dream chemicals, helps them stay in the dreams.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
He's also driving the van.
He's the
like
worst
a crazy
one.
man.
He's the worst one. Shout out to Joseph Gordon-Levitt, the best fucking henchman you could ever have on any team ever.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
good in that movie.
Yeah, dude,
That's really like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's like come out party.
He's the man
Yeah.
maker, dude.
Like-
He makes everything happen.
Yeah. Cillian Murphy as Robert Michael Fisher, the heir to a business empire and the team's target.
He's a weird looking dude.
Cillian Murphy?
Yeah, he's a real. He's got some
striking
strong
looking.
features.
Yeah, he's definitely striking
Yeah.
looking. He's got sharp edges.
He's in, what is that, Peaky Blinders?
Yeah, he's the lead of
Yeah.
I've been told to watch that by so many people.
So many-
Zanosco watched. I watched a couple episodes of it.
I've heard
It
it's
seemed
good.
pretty good. I
And
could
Tom
s-
Hardy's in it.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
I
you'd
could see
love it.
getting
Oh, you'd
hooked-
love that, dude.
hooked on it.
Yeah.
You've
Mm.
never seen Peaky Blinders? You'd love it.
Tom Berenger as Peter Browning, Uncle Peter. He says Uncle
Oh.
Peter like 10 times in that movie.
Yeah.
Uncle Peter. Marion Cotillard as Mal Cobb, Dom's deceased wife.
Oh right, Mal Cobb.
Oh, wait, she's that
Paul
far down the
Blart, Mal
list. Huh?
Cobb.
How they list it? I guess that makes sense.
Michael Caine as Professor Stephen Miles, Cobb's mentor, and
Some men
Mal's
just
father.
like to watch the world burn.
Fellow member of the Pussy Posse, Luke Haas.
Oh, the Pussy Posse.
Guys, Luke Haas is in this movie.
The Pussy
Who?
Posse.
The Pussy Posse.
Oh, what the hell?
That's Leo DiCaprio's. It was him, Luke Haas,
Oh, yeah.
E from Entourage,
Yeah.
That's
Bunch
so
of bros
and Toby Maguire.
slaying
Oh, yeah.
puss.
Or put the Pussy Posse.
The
dude.
Pussy
Jesus
Posse.
Christ, Toby Maguire.
Yeah, Luke Haas is in the beginning of this movie. He's the one that gets like taken
Some
out of the
man
helicopter in
just
the
want
beginning.
to watch the
Oh,
Remember?
yeah,
He, like,
yeah,
fails.
Yeah.
And he tries to rat them out and blah blah blah. All right, well that's the cast.
You're telling me all those bloody push-ups and you can't lift a damn log?
What's that from?
Batman.
Oh, Batman.
He's trapped under that
Is that
burn.
Inception or is that?
yeah. I don't know. He plays the same freaking character
He's in
all the
every
time.
single like.
I'm sorry,
He's
Mr.
in Prestige. He's
Yep.
in all the Batmans.
Mm-hmm.
He's in this Inception.
I
He's
think
in.
he-
He's in
I think
Interstellar.
I think he is Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, I know.
I think
Yeah.
it's Christopher Nolan in prosthetics acting.
Yeah.
There's
being
two
in all of
people
his
in this
own
world
movies.
Christopher Nolan loves. It's Cillian Murphy and it's fucking Michael Caine.
I know.
Is Cillian Murphy the one in Sunshine?
Yeah. He's the
Okay.
lead of Sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
He's a good actor. I like Cillian Murphy.
No, he is. Yeah.
He's been rumored to be the
I'm
next
sorry,
the next
Master
Bond.
Wayne. Master Wayne.
He would make it. I think he would make a good
He'd make
Bond.
a cool, different Bond.
Yeah.
You know, like good looking, but like, what's that guy's deal with those edges on his
Kinda,
face?
Yeah,
know?
what's
all those hard lines for?
yeah.
yeah.
All right. Should we dive deep into this extensive plot?
Yeah. Let's get mind fucked.
Yeah. Let's fuck our own minds.
Mm.
All right.
Inception is basically a heist movie.
Oh, it is definitely a heist
It's
movie.
the
a heist
Italian
movie.
Job with dreams.
It is.
It's a heist
It
movie
is.
about stealing and implanting thoughts.
Mhm.
That's what
For sure.
That's what it's about. Because he has to put
And it's a
together
movie
a
about
team.
guilt and grief.
Yeah, there is that.
Yep.
That's
Instead
there's a
of-
subplot
Yeah.
of Dom's
Movies
grief.
always have subplots, and it's either a love story
Mhm.
or something cooler like this one, where it's his dead wife is interfering with his dreams. That's why he can no longer be the architect of dreams. He can't make dreams because then if he knows the layout, then Maul knows the layout,
Yeah.
and it makes it easier for her to get to them. Like,
Mm.
she's a real problem in this fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
You
whole
know what I
movie,
mean?
The whole movie, she pops up in every fucking. She ruins
Yeah.
everything.
I mean, he's actually the real problem.
No, because it's his. It's not the real Maul.
It's his subconscious.
Yeah.
It's his projection of her. Like, if anyone should not be on the team, it's him.
Leo.
Yeah.
It's him. Like he's the most dangerous, or like he should not be there. He should
Yeah.
be like the guy driving the van in the real world.
Yeah. He's not
Because
mentally
just him
stable.
fucking being
Yeah,
there
he
is
should
like
be like not doing anything.
he has
Yeah,
no
yeah.
there's no job. What's his main job? He's just the guy who got the contract.
Well, at one point, he was the best architect in the world.
Not
Yeah.
anymore because he
Not
can't do it.
Now Ariadne is.
Mm.
All right. Well,
Juno?
the first big scene is obviously the beginning when they're in that apartment and they're trying to extract that info for a different company, not the Japanese guy's company.
Yeah. Yep.
The
And they
last
fail.
job. The
Yeah.
last job.
Right? Yeah. The job before the last job.
Mhm.
And
Oh, I meant the previous
the
job.
best part of that scene is definitely like the kicker when Leo gets dropped.
Oh, and he's about
Into
to fall
the
in the
tub.
tub.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
slow mo. I always loved that.
And the
That's-
music and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely the best part of that one.
Unless we are in a dream now.
He figures it out.
Yeah, because his rug.
Yeah.
The rogue I paid $8,000 for would never have synthetic fibers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cheap. What doesn't he say? Cheap
Yeah,
polyester.
yeah, cheap polyester.
It's just the way he
Yeah.
says it, though.
That's
Yeah.
exactly how he says it.
Oh.
So then after that, they either have to help the Japanese guy do an Inception,
Mm-hmm.
or they're going to get probably killed by the team, the business that they failed in
Oh,
that
yeah.
first job. So
Oh,
they're,
yeah,
they're pretty
yeah.
much forced to work for Mr.
But
Saito.
he also offers him a way
yeah, and
to
he
get
gives him a
back
good
to-
incentive to also
to
choose.
get back home to America. Like he's got strings he can pull.
Yeah.
So he can drop his
His kids are in America.
Yeah, that was
drop his
the
felonies. for
ace up
murder.
his sleeve right there.
Yeah.
Just seal the deal. That's for sure.
Yeah, the American police think that he murdered his wife,
Mm-hmm.
so he can't go home,
Right. Which he didn't,
which he didn't.
because she's
we'll get
crazy.
to that. Yeah, we'll get to that.
She's a crazy bitch.
Yeah.
And obviously, the Japanese guy wants them to do an Inception,
Mm-hmm.
and they say, and obviously Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Arthur says it's impossible.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
And then Leo, of course, is like, I've done it once.
I've done it once. I
yeah,
made,
'cause
I
they're
made
pla-
my ex-wife kill herself.
Yeah, oops.
It can be done.
Because they're planting the idea, right? That's the
Yeah.
different thing.
Mhm.
Because what do they say? They're like, oh, normally it's just extracting information. That's what it was.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Tom Hardy's character breaks it down the coolest because he's the one who's like, you have to break it down to its simplest form.
Oh yeah, that is an awesome.
So
yeah.
what you want him to do eventually is to overthrow his father's company
Yeah.
and to dissolve it and to start his own business.
Yeah.
And you can't implant that idea because it's tied to too many different things in the
Mm.
guy's conscious. So
You have to find the
he
simplest
has the
meaning.
simplest thing, and the simplest thing would be to change the relationship with the dad.
Mhm.
yeah.
Dictate that, and that'll spiral into him wanting to do his own thing,
Mm.
which they do very cleverly. But I don't know, he does seem a little gullible,
Who?
Cillian Murphy's character, because he's kind of like,
Yeah.
it's like he lived his whole life with his dad, and then in a matter of one dream, they change his entire relationship just because he's dead.
Yeah.
They trick him into thinking that his dad actually loved him the whole time and he wasn't an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he didn't say disappointed when he died.
Yeah.
He is like, you know what I mean? Like they changed the whole relationship in one dream. It's like he kind of seems like a dumb person, like easily fooled. You know?
Yeah, maybe he's like the trust fund type, gullible, just taking over
Yeah, that's true.
daddy's
Because
company.
he would have grown up rich.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll go with that.
Yeah. So Cobb.
No.
Oh, you're gonna say?
No,
Sorry, I'm
you
gonna cut you off.
can, no, you can continue.
I
You
was
can
gonna
take
say-
your hand off my leg right now, though.
I was gonna say, obviously, so they're trying to incept something into Cillian Murphy's character. So now Cobb has to assemble his team.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So obviously he goes out. He gets Ariadne. He gets Tom Hardy, Eames,
Mm-hmm.
and who else? He gets Yusuf
The chem
Eames,
guy. Yeah.
the chemical guy.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it for assembling the team. And then the job gets set in motion when obviously the older guy dies, the dad.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then they find a way to incept it is through the plane.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
long
10-hour
plane ride.
plane
Oh, they
ride.
had that's their window. Yeah, the
Yeah,
10-hour plane
yeah.
ride. Yeah.
And obviously Leo is teaching Ariadne how to become an architect.
Yeah, that's when the movie kind of like decides like, all right, now we're gonna flex on you and show you how weird and trippy the effects can be in this movie.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like the fucking city coming up and over, like
Oh, yeah.
parallel city.
that
Like,
was nuts. Yeah, the mirrors stacking the mirrors and then breaking.
it was almost
the
like
glass.
Doctor
Yeah,
Strange
that
before
part's
Doctor
cool.
Strange.
She breaks
Yeah.
the glass.
Yeah,
It is kind of, yeah, it's like Doctor Strange.
she's dumb too in the movie.
Is she?
Yeah, because remember she's like, he's like, he's explaining to her the population and who they are and how they're
Oh, I see where you're
subconscious
going
of
with
his mind.
Mm.
And then she's like, won't they notice or whatever? And they start to notice her when she starts fucking with stuff. And then like he's like, keep doing it and they're gonna come after you. And then she just like goes down that bridge
Yeah,
and pulls those mirrors out, does the fucking mirror thing, and opens it and fucking just starts fucking with shit. And then like they come for her and she freaks out.
yeah.
I was like, he just told you.
Hey, it was her first time, Tom.
He
It's the first
literally
time.
just
Come on.
told you.
He's
Give
got a pop.
Ariadne.
And that's when
He's got a pop.
that's he's got a pop.
Dude, this movie could have used some Joey pants.
So, oh my god.
He would have been really good.
That's when you see Maul for the first time.
Oh yeah.
like as the bad, and she comes in. And,
Ariadne starts to catch on to what's going on with
yeah,
Dom.
she gets a little intrusive.
She does.
She starts asking questions to Leo, like private things, like
Yeah.
like she tries to dive into his life, like after knowing him for like a day.
Yeah.
She's like asking him about like, oh, that's your ex-wife, and why can't you control it? You shouldn't do this anymore. What happened? Blah blah blah. Like it's like, dude. And then like later in the movie, she sneaks into his mind.
Oh yeah.
She sneaks into his mind while he's dreaming, and goes on his memory elevator. And it's like, Jesus Christ, lady, like
She does get a little too, but he's so crazy. It's like, how could he not? Like,
Yeah,
this dude is like, what's going on with this guy?
She
He's
just
the leader
jumps
of this
right in.
group. He has like the weirdest, darkest shit going on.
Yeah, she just jumps right in, you know, with no invite.
All right,
That
so
damn
then
Juno.
they find out right before the heist starts that Yusuf, his sedative said, dying in the dream will send you into limbo.
Mhm.
So the stakes are as the highest they've ever been for them.
Yep.
You know,
Oh, because of the sedative.
usually when you die, you get sent right out of
You
the
just
dream.
wake
There's
up.
no consequences.
It's like a
for it.
regular dream. When you die,
Yeah.
you wake up. Yeah, yeah.
So now,
But now
stakes
you're so
are high.
sedated, you go into limbo.
So the first step is the rainy city.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. And they kidnap the uncle and Cillian Murphy, and they're trying to convince him that way. There's some cool scenes with isn't that the train going through the city.
Yeah, that's when you start to figure
Remember
out like
Yeah.
how
Oh my
loose Leo's control is over.
I love that scene.
His
It's like
subconscious.
everything's going good, and all of a sudden a fucking train comes down the city.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus, Leo.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's when they should have known that he shouldn't be going into people's
And
dreams.
fucking Mr. Saito fucking gets shot in the first 2 minutes of the mission.
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
car. He's
It goes
like,
botched
"Oh."
instantly.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Cillian Murphy's trained against Dream Invaders, so
Yeah,
that's why those
yes,
special
they have the
forces guys show
attackers.
up.
Yeah, he has all those bodyguards. So that
Yeah.
complicates
Well, don't they
everything.
find out that if they die, they don't just wake up already in it? Like they're talking about it. Isn't it like right after that scene with the train, and then they're talking about how they got blindsided?
You're right. They don't find out. They find out after the.
Oh, yeah, he
train
reveals
shit.
to
He's
them.
right. Yeah.
So they're like,
Yeah.
"What
It's
the
in the
fuck?"
warehouse
yeah,
after that.
yeah. So
Yeah.
then they're like, "Oh, gee," like, "Oh yeah, well, let's die, or whatever." And they're like, "No, don't do it because someone's gonna kill themselves."
Yeah, because they're like, we can just restart.
Yeah.
They're like,
Why
no, we
wouldn't
can't.
he? Why
Yeah.
wouldn't he tell them that?
Leo.
Because Leo's not telling anything.
Like if I'm a dream,
In this movie, he's very selfish.
Yeah, he
because
wants to
he
be a
wants his
medic.
family back.
Yeah.
like if I'm a dream diver, I would know that like, oh, I could just die at any moment. Like if things go awry, I could just jump off this bridge and wake
Yeah,
myself
yeah.
up real quick. What if I just did that and he didn't fucking tell me?
Oh,
You gotta tell these guys that.
the biggest dick move of the
This is your
century,
crew,
right there.
man. He
No-
shouldn't be here.
There's no trust.
Leo shouldn't even been in the movie.
Should have been Tom Hardy
Should have been a
starring.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie.
Oh yeah.
So then, all right. So then they're in the warehouse. The next stage is they go into what, the hotel, right? Yeah, they're in the hotel,
Mm.
and they're doing the plan where Leo
Oh yeah.
is acting as the leader, not the leader, but the person in charge, and he tells him he's in a dream. Like they're doing, what's that called in that part?
The
the
he's
Mr.
basically
something.
Mr.
Why am I blanking
It's
on
not Smith. No, it wouldn't be Smith.
Yeah, and
You
then
remember
that's when they're talking about because they know that he's gonna drive the van off a bridge.
Mhm.
So that's when they're like, oh, we only have a certain amount of time before he goes in, like in the air, like in the van, and then
Oh,
there'll be
yeah.
no gravity
Yeah, yeah.
because like
yeah.
how the music transfers over,
Yeah.
so does like things like that.
Yeah.
So like, and then
But I can't remember what
they
it's called.
they know that that's gonna happen. That they're
Arthur-
gonna lose gravity. They know they're gonna lose gravity.
But that's before that. Arthur's telling Ellen Page when they're sitting there, like he's doing. I can't remember what it's called when he's trying to. He tells Cillian Murphy, he's like, "Oh, I'm the leader of your subconscious. I'm."
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
trying to make him
security.
aware of that security
he's
that is
aware.
prepped, so then that way he disregards his own security as like fake or whatever it may be to like pay no mind.
Oh yeah,
to
he's
them.
telling him that he's a figment of his
Yeah,
imagination.
Yeah.
So there's that part, and then they get him to agree to go into the third level, which is the snowy mission.
Yeah.
So that he agrees by himself to go to the third instead of having to like kidnap or whatever.
Mm.
So then they're all in the hotel room, and then Arthur's left behind, getting that kick ready.
Yep.
Which he was gonna blow the floor out.
Yeah.
And
But now that there's no gravity,
then the gravity goes away, and he has to come up with the fucking with that elevator idea.
Or he ties them all up, puts them in the elevator.
Yeah, he ties them up with the phone cord.
That crazy fight scene in the hallway.
That fight scene is so cool.
Yeah, when he's jumping off the walls and shit.
I can't believe Christopher Nolan built that. Like that's not.
Yeah, that's not.
There's very little special effects in this movie.
Oh yeah, it's a rotating hallway, right?
Yeah.
That they're fighting in.
That's why I like Christopher Nolan. He loves practical effects.
Yeah, it gives it that good feel.
Like he spends the extra like money and time to build those sets.
You know what else I like? That movie did well was like the strangeness of dreams and how like they even say in the movie how they talk about like you often don't realize how weird a dream is until after you wake up, and then you realize like things are so weird. And like constantly in the movie, like he'll be like, "Oh, how did you get here right now?" And they'll be like, "Oh, I just came from I was just on my way." Like then they suddenly realize like, "Oh wait, this is weird. Like why am I here?"
Yeah.
And like and then he says like the deeper you go, the more you're able to pull off, which is like, you know, the hotel room was kind of elaborate. They had the rooms, they checked in, like all that stuff. But then, like when they go into the next level, it's like a mission.
Yeah, it's like James Bond.
It's like a James Bond level.
It's the closest like Christopher Nolan's ever gotten to like a James Bond.
It's basically like a level out of 007 for N64, like at the snow level.
Oh
yeah, like a fucking hard little base like to get into.
And James Bond, they do skiing. Almost every other James Bond. Well, not the Daniel Craig ones, but like the older ones. Like Pierce Brosnan has one in World Is Not Enough, I think it is.
Yeah.
Where he skis. Like that's a common thing. It's so James Bond.
It was very James Bond. Yeah. And then he's taking those guys out on the snowmobile.
Oh,
Those people get knocked out super easy.
Yeah.
He just clotheslines one guy and he's like gone.
So the point of the snow part is they're trying to get Cillian Murphy to open the vaults inside that big gigantic compound, and he's trying to open the vault, and inside there, before we find that out, Maul comes.
Oh yeah.
And friggin' Maul comes and shoots him, and Leo has the chance to kill Ellen Page.
And he can't do it.
Ariadne's like, kill her,
and he can't do it. He holds back.
So Maul shoots fucking Cillian Murphy, and he dies.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
And then he wounds our Maul. He doesn't even kill her.
Yeah.
And they all get in there, and they're trying to find a way. Like, how do we? This mission's fucked. What do we do now? So now Ariadne comes up with, why don't you guys go into limbo and chase after Cillian Murphy? So Ariadne and Leo go in. Tom Hardy stays behind. And then they go in there and they find Cillian Murphy's being held hostage by Maul.
Yeah.
And Leo offers Maul that he'll stay there with her if they give up Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
So she agrees.
Yeah.
And so then Cillian Murphy comes out. He opens up the vault, and it's his dying dad. And he opens up the little safe, and it's the will that saying that he should break up. It's like they're trying
the pinwheel.
Yeah, it's the pinwheel from a picture earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
His last like happy memory with his dad.
Yeah.
And his dad had saved the pinwheel.
Yeah, like
in
cherished
the safe his whole life. Yeah.
So they make that plus the will, like, oh, you'll never do it. You'll never break up my company and become your own man.
Yeah.
So then that's the Inception part. That shit's done. But now Leo's in limbo, and with Mr. Saito, he died in the snowy
mission. Be a vegetable for the rest of his life.
Yeah. So now he's a vegetable for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
So how do they chase him into limbo?
Yeah.
Because Cillian Murphy dies.
Cillian Murphy dies, and Mr. Saito both die in that snowy compound.
In the snowy thing. And what do? They hook up the dream machine to Cillian Murphy?
In what?
While he's in limbo? Because they can't just go.
No, they resuscitate him, right?
They can't just go to sleep to go into limbo. They would go to sleep and go into a level 4.
Yes.
Limbo is a different thing.
Limbo's dying.
Limbo's a different thing. Limbo's when you die in a dream, but
wait
you
a second.
can't wake up.
Hey, how do Leo and Ariadne? No, they use the dream machine.
They must, because remember she pulls the dream machine.
So
out?
the fourth level's limbo. There is no fourth level of dreaming, right?
But every time you go into somebody's dream, it has to be somebody's dream. So I think what they do is they hook up the dream machine to Cillian Murphy, who's in limbo.
Oh, that makes sense.
Technically, they could have hooked it up to Mr. Soto too, or whatever.
Mr. Saito,
Mr. Saito. They could have hooked it up to him too because he's in limbo as well. And apparently, there's a shared limbo, which is I mean, I don't even know how that's explained. Every person's dream is everybody's dream. I can go into your dream. You could come into my dream. But we could both go to sleep separately and go into our own dreams, separate from each other. Mm-hmm. But yet, for some reason, if we go into limbo, it's a giant shared limbo.
Yeah, it's almost like
which makes no sense.
Server.
Like because Leo and his wife and Maul, they spent hundreds of years in limbo. Right? That's the whole thing that they keep going back to in the movie about the years they spent in there and how about it fucked up Maul's psyche and she couldn't tell the difference between the real world and the dream anymore. And then she convinced herself that the real world was still a dream and that the kids weren't real and the real kids were waiting for them and they had to kill themselves in the real world in order to break out and go and wake up and all that shit. But they keep going back to them spending hundreds of years in limbo. But if it's a shared limbo, how is there not anybody else ever there?
Because there's no, when they showed them laying down in their room, it was just them two laying there. You remember when they were using the sleep machine? If say,
yeah, but it's a shared limbo.
No, it's only shared with the people who were actually attached to the dream machine.
Oh,
it's not a shared limbo with every other person in the world.
So it's just a shared. It's like a shared limbo for everybody who's in the original dream.
Who's ever attached with the dream machine? You see what I'm saying? Because they show them too in that flashback.
Mr.
Yes, he's attached to the same dream machine in the very first beginning of the mission.
So it's the OP's dream.
Yeah,
it's all about the original.
They're
dream,
all attached
and
to
the same.
dream.
Down.
Yes, that's why the same limbo.
Okay.
Yes.
So what if we went into one person's dream and then in that dream?
This is why this movie's so complicated. This still till this day. A dream within a dream.
That's right.
Like, dude, like this many years later, this movie's how many years old? 9 years old now.
If we went into somebody's dream and then I went into, and then there was 4 people in one person's dream, and then 2 people went into one person's dream, and 2 people went into another person's dream.
I think it'd be the same.
Separate boxes.
I think it'd be the same because we're all attached to the very first.
Separate boxes.
I think you're complicating
separate people.
Much. No, I think you're complicating it much because the original dream machine in the real reality, it's the same.
All of them.
I think no matter what, the next dream level is always the same.
But if I go into your dream and then when we're in your dream, I go into Chase's, am I still in your dream or am I in Chase's dream?
Oh my God, we'll never fucking figure this out.
Never.
You know get back to the plot.
You know what I'm saying, though?
I get it. This movie, there's some plot holes.
Well, I'm just trying to put the strings together and figure it out.
Yeah, because then wouldn't Chase be? Because I think the person whose the dream it's the architect of that dream.
The original dreamer
is the architect. So if
I
you went into Chase's dream,
in your
he's
dream,
the architect of that dream.
Yeah.
This is getting too much.
No. What if I went into your dream in Chase's dream? That's what I'm saying. We go one level deep and then we go into separate dreams. Would we be in the same dream or would we be in 2 separate dreams?
I don't know.
Because I mean, I understand that even if we were in 2 separate dreams, and then one guy got hurt and went into limbo, and the other guy got hurt and a different dream went to limbo, they would be in the same limbo because the limbo is attached to the OP original person's dream. But could you branch off into other people's dreams if you had enough people on the crew, and just keep going down I'm 2 levels into Mike's dream, but then 3 levels into Chase's dream, and then back into Mike's one more time, and get fucking lost in a fucking maze of dreams.
You're complicating a very already kind of complicated movie.
I like it. I like the world. I like just playing with what you could do.
All right, so this part of the movie when they're in limbo after Fisher escapes and Ariadne jumps off the back, she jumps off the skyscraper
into the storm,
and rides the kicks all the way down.
Yeah.
You know, so they're all riding kicks to get back out of the dreams.
Oh, she wakes up Cillian Murphy, then they bring him in the safe.
Yes. Okay. So I'm skipping around a little bit. Yeah, but you're right.
Because he's dead.
So Leo's stuck in limbo with Mr. Saito.
Mm-hmm.
He's staying there to get him out.
It has been 1,000 years.
It doesn't matter if they succeed in the mission. They need Mr. Saito to live.
Oh, right, because he's the guy they're doing the job for.
Yeah, Leo can't.
He's the guy they're doing the job for.
Yeah. All right, so then, that's during the time when you find out Leo, incepted his wife, and that's why she killed herself. Well,
She forgot.
We went over it.
She forgot about the real world.
Yeah. So then, obviously, that's pretty much the end of the movie. He meets up with Mr. Saito on that table. Mm-hmm. They're sitting there.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the end of the movie. They all wake up. They're all smiling. Then they go to the airport. Michael Caine's there waiting for him, and then he goes home and he spins the totem and he sees his kids for the first time. You see their faces for the first time.
Yeah, they turn around finally. They
And
keep
then
showing that moment.
The camera zooms in on the totem and his little totem, and it's starting to wobble.
It's
and
still
But it
spinning,
doesn't
and it
fall.
cuts
Doesn't
away.
fall, and it goes
doesn't
right to
fall.
black.
Yep.
End of movie. That's a very simplified version of this movie.
Are they in a dream?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Why not?
Because I think I read an article a little while ago that they pretty much confirmed that they're not. And it's
Oh.
I think it's the majority consensus that
It would make
they're
sense.
in the real world in the end.
It would make sense if they were in a dream.
The better twist probably would have been like, oh, he's in a dream. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
You know?
He's in a dream where it's possible to go into people's dreams.
Yeah.
Because that's not a real thing. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that Inception world could only exist inside of a dream. We can't go into people's dreams. That's retarded.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's made up.
Hard R word, Tom.
Yeah, that's fucking retarded.
All right, now that we're done with the plot, let's go over to Chase with the facts. Let's learn more about the movie.
Some fun tips,
Yeah.
tricks.
Yes, tips and tricks, baby.
Tips? Yeah, tips. I want to know. Can I
Well-
go into somebody else's dream?
Well, interesting thing I done found out on the interwebs that it was because of The Dark Knight made so much money that Warner Brothers gave the green light for Christopher Nolan's passion project, which was Inception. So I didn't know that about that. So that was pretty interesting that this was something that he was,
Yeah, 'cause Dark Knight at the time was one of the highest grossing movies of all time.
made
Yeah,
$1
that
billion
was
At that very
worldwide.
time,
Yeah.
because that was before Avatar. You gotta remember, when Avatar came out in 2009, that changed everything. I mean,
Yeah.
it was Titanic, and then like Dark Knight was in, like, I think in like the top 5. Like,
Matrix.
no,
Matrix did make a lot of money.
it made a lot of money, but not like, dude. Dark Knight made like I think like $800 million. Like,
Really?
or not? No, I think even more. I think it crossed.
It was $1 billion worldwide.
I think it crossed the billion.
Right,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
it crossed
Wow.
the billion.
No shit.
And then and the crazy thing about it too was, like they said, usually passion projects, as they call them, don't typically get a budget of $160 million because that's what Inception was.
No.
But it went on to make $800 million worldwide.
Yeah, I have it right here.
Damn.
That's $828 million worldwide.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it says
That-
here.
For an original movie, that's insane.
Yeah, that's
Like,
insane.
that's what Christopher Nolan's good at. Is original movies that just make a shit ton of money.
Yeah. It
That's
says
insane.
here he wrote the movie early. After the 2002 completion of Insomnia, Nolan presented to Warner Bros. A written 80-page treatment about a horror film envisioned dream stealers based on lucid dreaming, which is what Inception's about.
Yeah.
Like, it's about lucid dreaming. Deciding he needed more experience before tackling a production of this magnitude and complexity, Nolan retired the project and instead worked on 2005's Batman Begins. So he had Inception, the idea at least, written before he ever even started the Batman series. And
See,
it
a lot
wasn't until
of big
after the
directors do
success
that.
of
A lot
The
of
Dark Knight.
smart directors do that. Well, they come up. A lot of these movies, they come up with the idea of these movies very early on in their careers, but they either hold on to it because they don't have the budget,
Mhm.
or the special effects aren't there.
The idea is too
Like,
complex.
if this movie came out in 2002, it wouldn't have these special effects
yeah, it would have been
in
Yeah.
2010.
And he
No.
didn't have
The
the
mind, they're
experience.
mind bending at some points.
He didn't have the experience to
Yeah,
pull
he
it
didn't have the
off either.
experience. Obviously, Warner Brothers would have never gave
But
him.
then,
What
like
did you
Chase
say,
said-
Chase? $160 million.
Yeah.
Like, they would have never given that to him right off in
No.
Insomnia.
Yeah,
dude,
no.
with
I
Al
mean,
Pacino.
after
Right.
But all right, what else you got there, buddy?
So Nolan was influenced by creative processes that he knew. So there's quite a few metaphors in the filmmaking. So such as each character actually represents a vital part of the industry. The point man, which is Joseph Gordon-Levitt as the producer.
Mhm.
The architect, which is Ellen Page, is the production designer. The forager is Tom Hardy. So it's kind of goes through that. I guess he does a kind of a lot of that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
I've
that's pretty
heard
cool.
that. Yeah, that the characters in the movie are like almost like a movie.
Symbolic.
It's
Yeah.
symbolic as like a movie. Like Leo's like, what does it say? Leo's the director.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's a stand-in
Leo's
director.
he's basically like Christopher Nolan.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
Yeah, I've read that. That's crazy.
So Nolan actually didn't research dreams while writing the screenplay, which is pretty interesting.
That's weird because like Interstellar, I remember like that movie. He like hired like real physicists to be on the movie. Like he went wicked in depth with like real science for Interstellar, and it's weird that he didn't research dreams for this movie.
And I guess
so heavily about dreams.
They said he did something similar. He had a similar approach with Memento, where he didn't look into any kind of like memory research or whatsoever.
Really?
He primarily used experiences and feelings rather than outside information.
I wonder if that's because science hasn't really totally figured out dreams.
Yeah,
and that a lot. If you like right now, if we Googled, dream meanings, it's like all like
you can find it
like astrology dumb shit. Yeah. Like like you lose your teeth in your dream. That means like you're fucking scared of upcoming projects or like some weird like ties to. So I wonder if maybe he started to go down that role and then saw like, oh, there's not much. There's not much
dreams
science.
They're very subjective. You can make anything about dreams.
Even sleep.
There's no real science behind dreams.
Even sleep. Like we know, like they know what the body is doing during sleep, but like sleep isn't even totally figured out. Like why it's necessary.
Yeah.
Like why you could literally die from not sleeping. Like they don't really know that. It's just like they just
gotta give that brain a break, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
it's like the brain, they don't really know like the rules of dreams. So it probably would make more sense if you were going to make a movie to just come up with your own rules. Like, he's creating an interesting world with his own ideas instead of trying to follow some fucking honky donkey rules about like what things mean and dreams and because you're a Virgo, blah blah blah.
Yeah. I think just like that, he doesn't want to be hung up on the actual proven facts
on the fucking basic, not accurate science.
Yeah. So what else we got on that list?
So pretty interesting, as you could imagine, with a complex, storyline. Nolan had to actually convince the studio that the various dream layers would be as minimally confusing as possible. So he had to really convince them that. So even though it's a dream within a dream within a dream, it's not going to go over their heads.
It's a high concept, so you theoretically could confuse audiences.
Yeah, the plot of the movie just has to be linear.
Yeah.
People need to be able to watch the movie and know what's going on and know what the plot is.
Yeah.
And know where the characters are coming from and where they're going.
Yeah.
And have some idea. Twists and turns, but like you need to be able to follow a movie. Like we experienced that when we saw Jupiter's Ascending.
Oh yeah.
You can't follow the plot of that movie. 40 minutes in, you do not know what's going on.
Even Generation you couldn't even tell that movie.
You do not know. Critters 3 did a better job.
Yeah, and you have to have like especially with dreams and time travel or various points, you have to have cues, such as like, tattoos, scars, hairstyles, certain ways. So that was one thing too that Nolan had said to them. He said that, one of the dream levels is in the rain. One of them is in the night interior. One's outdoors in the snow. Even in a close-up, you'd be able to tell which level you were in as even with the cross-cut as well.
Oh,
so
wow.
He was saying like he had to further explain like, by shooting it like this, it's going to make it blatant. Yeah. They know what levels they're in.
And maybe having like certain filters, like color palettes and filters and stuff.
Like the Matrix.
Cues.
Like
giving cues about what dream you are in. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, like that's a challenge.
Smart.
That's a challenge like you must face when you make a movie like this, just like the Matrix. Where you're trying to make a movie that makes sense, but you're trying to build a world that people could elaborate on for decades. Like how we could sit here and talk about dreams.
That's why these movies, like Inception and The Matrix, are still being talked about.
Yeah.
This one's almost 10 years old. The Matrix is 20.
And you can still dive into that world and play around with what ifs and stuff like that. That's super interesting.
What else we got? Anything else?
So as you could imagine, well, actually probably not imagine, but the casting decisions all revolved around Leo.
Makes sense.
Nolan knew that he wanted Leo for this movie and specifically cast around him. So it was all about, just finding the best people he could for Leo who felt right, basically acting with him in the movie. And he also wanted to focus on a younger cast because he wanted a young, energetic cast, so to make Leo feel a little bit younger and seem a little bit younger.
Oh yeah,
and not as like kind of not older.
Yeah, because this movie, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I mean, he was in that movie 500 Days of Summer. I never seen it, but I've heard it's good. But other than that, like it was like 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah.
Before that was 30 Rock from the Sun or Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah.
And like he kind of disappeared.
I forgot he was in that show.
He kind of disappeared. He's probably doing like low budget movies. Disappeared. this is the movie where Joseph Gordon-Levitt is back, baby.
Yeah.
You know, then he's in Dark Knight Rises, then he's in Don John, and he's in weird shit.
Yeah.
But like, this is the movie where it's like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Wow.
And, what's that time?
And Tom Hardy. This is Tom Hardy's big coming out
What's
party.
the time travel
Yeah.
movies in? Just Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, Looper.
Looper.
That's another
Yeah.
one. That's a great fucking
Great movie.
But yeah, this is Tom Hardy's coming out party. Before this, he was Bronson.
Yeah.
Before that, he was like on like British, I think, television and like some other stuff. And like, obviously, his biggest role as a young actor was Star Trek Nemesis, where he played a clone of Patrick Stewart
Oh,
in that movie.
Really?
Yeah, but Bronson and then Inception.
Yeah.
Those are the first two where it's like, whoa, who is this guy?
Wow.
You know.
And then Venom, dude. Jeez.
Woo!
Jesus Christ.
But now Tom Hardy's a big fucking actor. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy the amount of people in this movie. But
Wow, what a come out movie.
what else we got on there?
So actually, another thing to add to that was Leo also contributed a lot to the script. So as soon as Leo was officially on, he sat down with Nolan and added a lot and contributed a lot to his own character too, which is pretty interesting. And I guess he was also helped with trying to make it a little bit easier to understand. So he kind of helped Nolan put it in a little bit different perspective as well. So he's a very hands-on guy.
I mean, yeah, dude, Leo at this point in his career is so powerful. Like, he's not an actor who just comes, he's not a hired gun anymore. Leo is like he's heavily involved in the creative process.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's what all good actors do.
Well, it also takes a lot of time in good movies to get to that point.
Yeah.
You know, Tom Cruise is like a producer in everything
And you
does now.
gotta know how to do it too. You can't step on a director's foot.
Yeah.
You have to maybe make suggestions and that kind of thing.
Any other cool facts?
Well, so Paige, she didn't.
You hear the cool facts?
She like instantly got the gig too, actually, as well. She ended up just sitting down with Nolan. Had nothing to do with the film. And
Who?
Then, like
Ellen Page.
Oh, Boy Body?
Yeah, boy, body, girl.
Boy, body.
Little pilgrim boy. Little pilgrim. Yeah, no, they sat down and didn't even talk anything about the film, just about other stuff. And then she got the script the next week and just had to, officially read it in an office, but was given the role.
Wow.
She was pretty hot at
cool
the time,
with it.
coming off Juno.
Yeah.
That was like an Oscar-nominated movie.
Yeah.
She was pretty hot at the time.
That movie's awesome.
She's cooled off, but now she's on, what was that, Umbrella Academy?
Yeah, whatever. That movie,
Okay.
that show's ridiculous.
One cool, like, kind of like techie thing about it was how Nolan, he wanted the explosions to look surreal and not as orange in Hollywood with flames.
Really?
So, like, some of the cool behind the scenes, they used a high pressure nitrogen, which they set off right near the cast, supposedly. So it kind of gives off like a different explosion, kind of that more surreal, like especially that one scene with all the market bins. And like they're exploding and it's popping stuff out when he first takes her in.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
when
then by the
she's
cafe.
expanding everything?
Yeah. Which that was. I mean, it's funny too because when you think about it, it's ironic, really stagey, like Hollywood strip. But then again, the way the explosions did make it look pretty surreal.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Thinking that kind of changes the.
Hmm.
Kind of makes more sense. Huh.
You learn something every day.
Yeah.
These truly are tips and tricks.
Wow. Jeez, Chase.
Actually, going through them too, there was actually an ad for the exact spinner that Leo has.
Oh, we should
Oh,
get
wow,
our
you
own
could buy
totems.
it?
Yeah, the little one that he spins.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, you can't get that though, because that's his.
Yeah, that's
Everybody's
true.
gonna have their own
Same
anchor.
way.
Yeah.
Mine would be a little anchor.
Would it?
Yeah.
No? All right, what else you got there, hashtag facts guy?
Well, I got a lot of facts over here. I had to eat a lot of popsicles to get these facts, by the way.
You are
So,
truly embracing your role as the facts guy.
absolutely.
Like, we got to give you props.
Thank
Facts
you.
king.
What can I
love
say?
it. I love it.
I love you.
I love you.
So surprisingly, something that doesn't happen too often, Nolan finished early and under budget, which is kind of surprising, especially for, this passion project, as they like to say.
It's crazy on a movie this big of a scale that he was able to do that, because a lot of movies go over budget, over time. Rewrites. That's like a common thing now out in Hollywood. Rewrites like Justice League, going
Yeah.
over budget, almost doubling the
Or
budget.
like drama with
rewrites.
directors and shit, and then like
Oh my
another
God.
director has to step in and take over.
That's why Christopher Nolan's the best. That's why
He's all
he
about
gets
the
the
work.
shit done.
He's all about the work.
He is.
Nice guy he is, I tell you.
Well, and I guess one thing too is like Nolan hasn't been extremely confirming like the theories of the end of was it reality or was it not. But
Yeah.
Michael Caine has kind of made his stance saying he definitely believes that it's real. Basically, he was quoted saying,
what Michael Caine says.
"Yeah, Michael Caine."
I'm
Dude,
sorry.
he's pretty much like Christopher Nolan's dad.
I'm sorry,
So.
Mr. Wayne. I failed you. When he's
If
crying
I'm
at the
there.
grave. I failed you, Mr. Wayne.
So,
he's
yeah.
not even dead.
Michael, so his point of view of why it's undoubtedly real is the spinning top drops at the end.
No,
That's
doesn't.
when I come back on. He told Screen Rant. If I'm there, then it's real because I've never
Oh.
been in the dream. I'm the guy who invented the dream.
What? He's talking about how on set.
No, like
The
in
topper fell?
that scene.
In that scene, he said, so the spinning top drops at the end. That's when I come back on. So then the spinning top drops at the end. That's when I come back on. If I'm there, then it's real because I'm never in the dream. I'm the guy who invented the dream.
What the fuck? When it drops, doesn't it cut to black?
Yeah, it cuts to black.
Yeah, that's what I guess.
That's confusing.
Now
Fucking
reading-
old man is
reading out
senile.
loud-
He's got his
Yeah,
facts
yeah.
all mixed up.
Reading
mixed
out
up.
loud, it doesn't make as much sense.
Because part of me is like,
No, I
okay,
remember the top dropping. Like, yeah, because you were there on set.
Yeah, right.
You're remembering on set,
Yeah.
Michael.
See, this is we'll
Come
never
back to
know.
bed,
We'll never
Michael
know.
Caine.
It's up to interpretation.
Take your meds.
We'll never know.
Yeah, and of course,
Michael
film
Caine.
scholars, as you could imagine, have tons of different theories
You go
about
a little
the
bit
theme
higher
of the film.
and a little
Just,
bit higher, and then you go right back down to the bottom again.
The tons of like theories, and just a couple of them was it was all a dream, and Sato is the actual architect, and Cobb is dreaming, not dreaming, dead at the end of the film.
What
Any of
fuck?
those.
Wow.
Jesus.
So those
Oh,
are
wow.
just
Hashtag amen.
Hashtag. What a great fucking movie. All right. Well, let's do. Before we'll go over to the IMDb reviews. That's how we do this show.
Yeah.
We use IMDb. We use user reviews. It's up to you,
Yeah.
the people.
The
We're
people.
sponsored by IMDb,
Yeah.
so this is what we have to
But
use.
before we do that, I just want to do a quick box office, a little bit of game. Obviously, this movie came out in July 16th, the weekend of July 16th, 2010, which we saw in New Hampshire. Do you remember
yeah, dream
Wow.
within a
that?
dream.
In that little theater in Meredith, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I can't remember the first time I saw Inception.
You see it in the theater? Or
It's
no?
almost like it was a dream.
Wow. So what do you guys think? Can you guys think about 2010 movies that came out that weekend?
2010
can't.
Yeah,
movies.
see, this is hard. It's hard to even think.
That weekend?
Yeah, what was out when that movie was out?
Let me just
2010.
think.
2010.
All right.
Matrix.
I'm not going to
3.
make you guys guess because it'd be stupid.
Matrix
Okay.
3.
No, it was Despicable Me,
Oh yeah, yeah,
The Sorcerer's Apprentice,
yep. Okay.
Twilight
that.
Saga, Eclipse,
Yep.
Toy
Ugh.
Story 3,
Okay.
Grown Ups.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Let's name some movies for you. Wow.
Grown ups, huh?
And then
Adam
Inception.
Yeah, Inception.
Coming
baby.
at you.
It opened with 62 million.
Hell yeah.
It's healthy. It's crazy that it opened with 62 million, but it made 800. What do you say? I think
It was like 800. You said like 820, I think,
Yeah, like
earlier.
828 or something like that.
That's crazy.
It's crazy because they had legs. It's got legs, baby.
Yeah.
It
What?
kept going.
Oh,
Yeah.
It kept going.
I was like, it has legs?
Well, I
got
think
legs.
it's. I think
Like a
it's
spider? I see what you mean.
Yeah.
It continued to make money, even
Yes.
after the release. That's what he meant.
really snowball
for all you
effect.
guys out there on my page.
Yeah, and I think the one thing about movies like that, with like it's like a complex plot that like when you get it, it's almost like you're like, oh, I get it. Like you
It's the type
feel.
of movie you want to watch again.
Yeah, and like crack in a sense. So it's really satisfying when you either walk away each time watching it, picking up on something else. I mean, it's similar to The Matrix.
Yeah.
You know, like
It
These
is
movies,
very
they're
similar.
not like
Cool.
overly complicated. These movies, well, the Matrix sequels are a little overly complicated, but these
Yeah.
movies like the Matrix One, Inception, they're complicated enough to where like if you follow the breadcrumbs throughout the movie, by the end you feel like kind of smart.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You know,
It's like, oh yeah,
Like that's what Christopher Nolan's so good at, is like making you feel like, oh wow, like I figured it out. Like
Yeah.
Memento, like
yeah.
oh the whole movie's backwards. Like
yeah,
you know, that's what Christopher Nolan's really good at. Like Prestige, like oh god, they were twins.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Or Fight Club, when it's like, oh man, he wasn't real the whole time.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is the
All
number. You guys
in
know
his
this is the
head.
number one heist movie of all time.
We did say it was a
Really?
heist movie.
It is. It's the number one heist movie of all time.
You could quote
Box
us.
office
Wow,
wise.
really?
Box office was
The number one heist
Even
movie.
like Oceans, any of
the
like
number one
Oh, yeah.
for hip hop and R&B.
wow, even
Ha,
Oceans 8.
106.
I should say, yeah. It's fucking
Sarah Michelle Gellar
in
the crew.
No. I'm playing Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, I know.
Sarah Michelle Gellar. Scooby-Doo 8.
Scooby-Doo. It's fucking Sabrina, bitch.
Yeah. All right, let's kick it over to Tom with the reviews. What do people say on IMDb?
All right, this is how I'm going to do this.
Let's read up 5. Let's get 5. And then
No. Wrong. It's my segment. I'm going to do it the way I want to do it.
Okay.
So shut your trap hole. This is the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to read one good review, and then I'm going to read one bad review.
Okay, that's
how I'm
better.
gonna
I like
do it
that. That's much better
because
than 5.
these are the length of these reviews.
Oh, they're
so
long,
I
they're long.
can't read 5. We'll be here all night.
It's your
And
segment. It's your segment.
I'm just gonna
Chase's hashtag the facts guy. Your hashtag
Facts
the review
guy.
guy.
hashtag
Facts
reviews
guy.
coming at you with the people's
Fucking
opinions.
Reek
I'm
facts.
the people's champ. I'm just gonna go through it and read it, and then we'll comment on it. 9 out of 10. Matrix, but in Dream World? ? Nah. Period. I don't know why I wrote that because he gave it a 9 out of 10. Warning: spoilers. I'd like to keep my review rather to the point. Pros: its theme. Dream is a fascinating topic, to say it the least. There are a lot of unknowns in Dream World. 2. Its plot. There are several sweet twists and unpredictable turns. 3. Its edgy drive. Although you know what's coming next, you still feel jumpy about when it does. 4. Its rapid storyline. The story moves fast from one scene to another, making the viewers feel like they're on a roller coaster ride. At times it's hard to keep up, even after watching it several times. It's sophisticated. There is a lot of information to remember and digest. This is the very thing the modern moviegoers are after, I believe. 6. It's realism. Okay, pun intended. The movie explains, or at least tries to, the ins and outs of what a dream is about and how it functions, some of which are very familiar and dear to us. Cons: its poor character development. I guess
I can see that. I mean, some of the side characters you don't get. You learn a lot.
You
about
don't know
Dom.
a lot about,
You learn a lot about Dom.
and that's about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, not much about Arthur. What's Arthur? He's so good at this.
Yeah.
Like, he's definitely the better version of Dom, but it's like, why? Like, you don't know his drive.
Even
Yeah.
the girl they show a little bit more about than some of the other people. Like,
Yeah.
you know, she's in college.
I'd say Ariadne is probably the second biggest character behind Dom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got
Although the acting was... I totally lost. There it goes.
This is a
Although the
crazy
acting
review.
was
Yeah.
convincing
Who writes this
enough,
shit?
there was not enough of character development. I wonder how many people really felt connected to the main characters after watching the movie. Yes, the movie talks about emotional struggles, but it was more of an action film than anything else, if you ask me. Con number 2, too many distractions. I found that the movie had more characters than necessary. They may play certain roles in the plot, but they seemed more of distractions than anything else. I wish the movie was more focused. 3, a bit preachy, like Chris Pratt at Nickelodeon's Choice Awards, talking about God, dude. I noticed that the characters...
You wrote that?
No.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I noticed
you wrote that.
I noticed that the characters would explain things about Dreamworld, and then the exact things happen later in the movie. I'm afraid Inception overused this trick. I wouldn't call that preachy. I would call that acting like we're dumb.
Yeah,
Which
I would
Yeah.
call that Christopher Nolan literally using characters as legit plot devices. Like, he does lay out parts
That do
early
happen.
on.
Yeah.
Characters explain exposition very early on.
Yeah.
And pay off in the end. And he does that in pretty much every one of his movies. Like,
Yeah.
That's Christopher Nolan's weakness, to be honest. And underdeveloped characters. That's another Christopher Nolan kind of thing. Like Dunkirk. I mean, like, you don't even know who the
I don't know. Could they have done that with less characters?
No. I don't think
so.
I think the characters are like there for a reason. Like Chase
Yeah.
was saying with that whole like he's the actor, he's the director,
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah, like one less guy is like it's barely a team at
and is
that
that,
point.
when I read off the amount of characters and the actors, there's not that many.
No, it actually
Yeah.
seems like
For-
kind of not a lot.
Yeah, no.
Especially ones that are like actively contributing too. You know, like the guy who's driving him around, the mad scientist. He's not really doing too much.
Yeah,
anyway,
he's
so
probably
it's
the
not like
least.
he's a waste.
But towards the end of the movie, when they have to lay off all the kickers to get them out of the dream, every single character is actually doing something.
yeah.
You know, even
Yeah,
the guy
everybody
who's
has a job.
driving, he's
Everybody
doing
has a job.
something.
Yeah.
You know, Tom Hardy, he's in the snow level doing something. Arthur's doing something. I don't think he definitely doesn't develop their characters, their stories about their backstories, but he definitely uses each character, I think, effectively
Yeah.
Mm,
in the movie.
Yeah.
And you get Dom, Leo. You do understand so much about him, his grief, Because the movie was truly like about grief. Like that's why Maul's showing up in every part of the fucking movie.
Yeah.
You know, like I think he does that very well.
Yeah.
But hey, you could use a little more backstory on like Arthur.
Yeah.
But what are we gonna do?
I agree a little bit on
All right, let's hear the negative review.
All right, let's go with the negative one here.
Fucking stupid.
Too much. ...
Ugh.
Way too much. Capitalized way on that. Warning. Spoilers. July 25th, 2010. J. George 4. Sorry to put his name out there, but you can spam this guy if you want. What is going on with the IMDb users' reviews lately? ? It's like the masses can no longer be trusted. In the last month, the users have decreed Airbender the worst abomination ever, where in fact it is just an average movie. Okay?
Dude.
User reviews...
Right. That movie put M. Night Shyamalan in fucking jail. Director jail.
Well, apparently to this guy, it's just an average movie. It's not terrible.
No.
And he's mad because people are off by just that much.
All right, go on. What else is calling?
User reviews raved over Despicable Me when it was about as entertaining as Dexter's Lab rerun. This guy's so
I
witty.
like Dexter Lab.
And now, ? Inception is the third best movie ever made, ? Are you kidding me, ?
That is a little... Inception is very high up on the top 100 IMDb if you do that, if you look at the list.
Yeah, it's because of the, it's like I
It's
like
user
you said,
reviews.
it's
That's
because
what
of
you have to
the
deal
it's because of the super complicated world that it created, but yet the followable plot.
Well,
Those
dude,
kind of movies are
this is
always going to
users.
make
if
it
you
high.
want a critics list with the top 100 with fucking Godfather 2 and fucking Citizens Kane,
Yeah.
that's what you're going to see in those lists. If you want to see user reviews, what people are actually happy with, you're going to see Dark Knight, Inception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to see these Guardians of the Galaxy so high, like over Godfather, probably. You know, like, that's what happens. You know?
This was a very creative and interesting flick that went way overboard. The problem with this genre, you know the genre, was it a dream or a dream about a dream or a parallel universe where people dream they're dreaming about parallel universes while pretending to dream, is sooner or later you stop caring about the actual action because it's a dream. So the 20 minutes spent watching gunfights and car crashes in the pouring rain and the 30 minutes spent watching these guys shoot up Ski Fortress and another 30 minutes watching what's-his-name float around a hotel just didn't do it for me. Not a terrible movie, but third greatest movie ever? You must be dreaming. Ha! I see what he did there. What a dick.
Yeah, that guy's a clown.
He is a clown. Leo does not make bad movies.
Oh, wow. This guy gave it a 6 out of 10, but his review is... It would take me 25 minutes to read it.
I can't believe people actually
go that crazy.
go this crazy.
Nobody writes a short review. All these guys have so much to say, almost like us. Wow,
Well,
this guy gave it a 1 out of 10, dude.
Oh, what did he say?
Hopefully more people who rightly thought this was rubbish. Is he British? July 24th, 2010. Warning, spoilers. Easily one of the worst films ever made. Wow, dude. That some critics fell for it just shows how bad today's professional critics have become. No doubt all the 14 to 18-year-old Nolan fanboys are going to attack all of us that have seen this through this psychobabble nonsense.
No one does have a lot of fanboys.
Ultimately, the worst thing about this film is that it was utterly boring. From start to finish, at no time do you feel anything for any of the characters. The dialogue is of such a juvenile nature, he must have gotten a 14-year-old to write it for him. The guy has no idea of what dreams are, what takes place during them. This guy can't even spell. It's a fucking run-on sentence. I will not go into any philosophy or psychology discussion here, as the film does not warrant them giving this nonsense. This is so bad. This is so hard to read.
Oh, fuck him, dude. This
Like
guy's
The
a
Dark
clown.
Knight, this will have its time in the sun in a few years. The very same people who raved about it will wonder why they liked it.
Wow.
Dude,
This guy doesn't
no
like Dark
way,
Knight
dude.
either.
Doesn't like
This-
that's just
His
crazy.
username, Grumpy3.
Oh, no fucking
Fit in the
shit.
scope, dude.
All right, well, thanks, Tom. Hashtag review, man.
Hashtag reviews. Catch me later.
All right, now let's get back to this part, the final part of our Inception. Is this truly his best movie?
Oh, yeah, let me jump over here to Leo's
The IMDb
list of movies.
Yeah.
The IMDb reviews
That's a tough-
have it at an 8.8. They have it ranked as Leo's best movie. Now let's quickly do a quick list of some of his other great movies. We got The Departed, Django Unchained, Wolf of Wall Street, Shutter Island, Catch Me If You Can, The Revenant,
Wow,
Blood
you know what's
Diamond,
crazy?
Titanic, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, The Aviator, Gangs of New York, Great Gatsby, Basketball
What the fuck is-
Diaries.
Inception, the COBOL job? What the hell is that?
I don't know. I think that's like a short or a.
What is that, dude? Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Oh, it's a prequel. I think it's a short or something.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was.
Wow, dude, we should check that out. Oh yeah, it's only 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that.
Is it fan made?
No, I don't think so.
I'm so intrigued.
It was
Let's
probably
just
for
put
the
our
it's probably for
podcast
the
to a
Blu-ray.
screeching
It was
halt
probably for
soon,
the
man.
Blu-ray or something. But what do you guys think? Do you think this? I mean, I love
He has
Inception.
such good movies.
He does. He
Yeah.
has really good movies. That's why he's like my favorite.
Like if you
actor.
go down some people's lists, it's like up and down, up and down, up and down. Like literally, the ones he mentioned: Inception, The Departed, Django Unchained, The Wolf of Wall Street, Shutter Island, Catch Me If You Can, The Revenant, Blood Diamond, all have
Like amazing.
eights or above.
Yeah,
Like that's
good for
unheard
you.
of.
That's
in
good for
people's...
user reviews. Like,
Wow, dude.
I mean,
Aviator.
personally, like the movie that I think, even though he didn't win Best Actor, I thought he was gonna win for Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah,
Like that was the movie where I was like, this is Leo at his best.
this movie was
This movie,
made.
It's
It was
made
made
for
to
Leo.
give him an Oscar.
Yeah.
that's
And
what
he
that movie
didn't
felt
win.
like. Yeah.
Fucking Matthew McConaughey won for fucking Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh yeah.
So,
AIDS
like,
Cowboy.
Yeah. So
I still never saw
I mean,
that.
I personally think the best Leo performance is in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, close. I mean, I love Catch Me If You Can.
Chase, have you seen The Aviator?
I think I've seen like tiny bits of it, but not all
I've
the
seen
way
it too
through.
many times.
You've seen it too many
Yeah,
times.
I had it on DVD.
I've only seen out of the whole movie. The only thing I've ever seen was the plane crash.
Oh.
It's about him. He's like a plane designer.
Yeah, it's
And
based
he-
on a true story,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
a guy
and
goes
he,
crazy.
and he designs this plane and like test flies it.
Yeah.
And like he gets in the fucking horrific plane crash. And the scene is so over the top hilarious. Like, do you remember that scene, Mike?
Yeah.
That fucking scene is so funny. He's fucking like losing control, and then he's coming down over like houses.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like all like cobblestone top houses with like the tiles, and he's crashing into it. And there's fucking tiles going everywhere.
Oh my
And he's
God.
getting thrashed.
It's horrific.
He built
Yeah.
he built the plane and like forgot to put in like airbags and seatbelts and like an ejection
Well, it's like
seat.
the 1940s.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
all
yeah.
he focused on was like engine.
Yeah.
And so like he's crashing and he's getting thrashed around the
Oh my
the
God.
pilot. He's like fucking getting smashed. His fucking face is bleeding, and then he finally crashes. Like shit explodes, and he's like trying to get out, and he goes to push open like the glass like cover.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
burns his hands because of the fire, and he's like ah, and he pushes it open, and as soon as he pushes it open and stands up, a fireball comes and hits him with a fireball, and he tumbles down the side of the plane, dude. It's fucking so
Jesus
ridiculously over the
No,
top.
that's a good movie, dude. It's,
I haven't,
it's not his best
seen
movie.
I haven't seen the whole movie.
Yeah. I mean, I know Chase,
I've
you
only
love
seen that scene.
you love What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
That's it. We were talking
The
about
Departed,
that.
dude.
Like, What's Eating Gilbert Grape from an acting performance is fucking amazing.
Yeah, no,
but
I
you
agree.
could never be like, oh, that's like Leo's favorite. That's my favorite movie. Like, who in their right mind would sit down and be like, oh, I'm gonna throw on
Yeah,
What's
I
Eating
watched
Gilbert Grape.
a few
It's like
years
one of the
ago
most
at Luke's
depressing
house.
movies.
Yeah, no, that's a hard movie to get through.
Yeah.
It's a very depressing movie.
Wicked
Yeah, it is
Man,
super
Leo, that is top 5.
What are you
You
doing
went-
down there? They're changing the floorboards.
Oh yeah.
They had to
yeah.
sneak the floorboards in through the basement window so the floor doesn't collapse and kill his giant fat mom.
Yeah.
What are you doing in the basement? She's freaking out,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
She's screaming. He's like, all right, you guys better get out of here.
Oh,
So
my
we all
God.
can agree that it's not his best movie. Pretty much. I mean, it's a great movie.
Gilbert
Inception.
Grape?
No, Inception. We can all agree that
It's not his best?
It's not his best movie as an actor, right?
Yeah, I mean it's tough because when I think about
Well, we
there's so
should
many-
come back to what we think are his best worst because we still got to talk about Critters.
All right, if you guys want
Oh,
to postpone it, hey,
We should
there's
we,
no
we
rules
should wait.
here.
I think we should wait till
We
the
can
end.
wait till the end. We have
Yeah.
a whole other movie. I mean, it'll be shorter. We're already an hour and 3 minutes in. Not too bad. We're moving at a crisp pace here.
Crisp pace.
Crisp space.
Crisp.
We're moving at a Christmas pace.
Christmas pace.
You know, once a year.
Equipment.
All right, let's move on to his
Critters.
worst.
Who doesn't love good old fashioned Critters 3?
Critters
man.
3, baby.
I wish I could remember the theme music.
Oh
Critters
yeah.
3
I can't remember
came
how
out
it
in
went.
1991. The third in the Critters. I don't know how many movies there are. There's 4 original critters.
4, yeah.
I don't know if they made one since. I think there's only 4.
I hope so.
3 in the quadrilogy.
I'm glad we
Oh my God, there's so many.
Oh no.
Critters 2, Critters 3, Critters 4, Critters Bounty something, Critters Elf, Critters A New Binge, 2019.
Oh, yeah,
Guys!
that's the new one.
Guys!
I saw it. That's on that Shudder.
wow.
2019.
Oh my God.
Wait, what's this other one? Oh, Critters Bounty Hunter, 2014.
What the fuck?
Wow.
You know, I'm glad we watched that. That's considered.
Wait,
his
is the
worst
Critter
because
the Bounty
I've
Hunter?
always wanted to see the Critters. You know.
Yeah, no, it's probably his worst movie. I mean, there might not be much argument if this is his worst movie or not, but it was a fun movie.
It was real fun compared
alien-
to last week having to watch Generation
Oh, my
Generation,
God. This
terrible,
is so
dude.
much better than
Yeah, this
Generation
one
Home.
was
It's insane.
actually entertaining.
Generation Home is one of the worst movies I've ever watched.
We should have just
Yeah,
watched
yeah.
one of the other Critters instead of that.
Yeah, I know.
Well, then we couldn't have done the podcast now, Tom.
I don't care. An alien bounty hunter enters a scene of stubborn carnage where something out of this world has been feeding on humans. Critters Bounty Hunter is about an alien.
What year did that come out?
There's literally only one guy on the cast list. Like, does this movie have one guy in a post-apocalyptic world where he's fighting off critters? 7 out of 10. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
Wow.
I can't make these up.
Oh. Well, let's get back to Critters 3.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry.
Jesus Christ.
I'm so intrigued.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, my Lord. No fun.
Critters 1, 2, and 3.
All right, now how do we even start with this movie? All right, so it's about a family on a road trip.
This movie's
Yeah.
simple.
It's very simple. We'll get to
This
plot
movie
in
is
2 seconds.
super simple.
Super
it takes
simple.
place in one house.
Well, in the beginning, they're on a road trip. Their tire
Yeah,
explodes.
that's right.
Yeah,
so they have to stop at like a national park, and that's
Or a truck stop.
or a truck stop,
Or
whatever.
a park and
Who
ride.
knows where they are? It's so corny and bad. So they stop there. It's an older sister, a younger brother, and the dad. The mom recently passed in the past. She
2 years.
died in the past few years.
Yeah, they bring it up.
They bring
managed
it
to
up.
bring it up.
Yeah.
In the most like
Dad,
uncontextual way.
Mom died 2 years
Yeah.
ago. It's time to get over it and take care of me.
He's like, daughter, I told you not to go out of sight, and you went out of my sight. Now I'm angry because I had to change this tire. And she's like, well, Mom died 2 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
she
It's
just
so
brings it
abrupt.
up like out of nowhere. Like,
So abrupt. But before that,
hilarious.
they're hanging out at the truck stop. They the older sister and the younger brother meet up with other kids. One of them happens to be like a little cool 90s looking 14-year-old Leo.
Yeah,
Leo,
the high
yep.
top mushroom cut.
Yeah, high top mushroom cut. He's got a cool shirt on.
Yeah.
And then they're playing frisbee and they lose in the woods, and all of a sudden they meet this guy who looks like a conspiracy theorist.
He looks like a
critters
knockoff-
hunter.
He's a knockoff Ghostbuster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he warns the kids about God knows what. And then they go back to the car, and they're off. You know, they fix the tire, and they're back on the road.
Oh my god!
I
is this
gotta
that chick?
say too, they
She
do
looks
that.
hot, dude.
Well,
She grew up. That
Oh,
girl
hey.
grew up, man.
I
just
gotta say,
I just showed Mike and Chase a picture of her, and they're agreeing in how hot she is.
I gotta say too that was when they did that flashback with him, because we've never seen the other one, so like we had no idea this actor who he was. But then they had like that
Leo?
minute or 2 minute long like flashback of the previous Critters.
Oh yeah,
Oh
when they
my
show the
God.
knockoff Ghostbuster.
Yeah.
He's like, I've dealt with these things before, and then cue flashback, and they literally like go over scene by
it's
scene.
like it's like
like,
a YouTube like
it's
Critters
just-
1
it's
and
a
2 in 5 minutes
compilation.
video.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like
it basically
they sum
gives
it
you
all
the
up.
plot of the first two Critters,
Oh
and
my
like
God,
fills
I've
you
never
into-
seen anything like that.
It was some clever editing.
Yeah,
on
it
their
was really
part.
laying it on thick. It wasn't like
Yeah.
in pat like you know.
Like he's not gonna sit here and tell you the story. We're gonna show you.
yeah.
We have footage. It was great.
So then they go. All right. So they leave the truck stop. Then the movie really begins with them going to their
They
shitty
get
apartment
home
building.
to their New York or Chicago
Chicago
City.
it says Los Angeles.
Their LA city,
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
Plug in random giant city, doesn't matter.
And
they're living the grossest, nastiest, like 3, maybe 4 floor gross apartment building.
Yeah, yeah.
Like rat infested
and they have
roach
this
bed
guy
bugs.
named Frank who's like their
Punk rock.
janitor / like mechanic guy who
Yeah,
does
like-
their laundry.
Yeah,
He does the
yeah.
laundry.
He has like the thickest New York, Chicago, everything
LA.
accent.
yeah,
fucking-
yeah.
I am shocked this movie says Los Angeles that it takes place in. I
Yeah.
thought he had a Chicago accent.
Yeah, no, well,
he
yeah,
did have
he
a
had
very
some
weird
kind of-
voice.
Yeah.
And he's
Oh,
the
what
first
you
one.
talking about? Oh,
Wow,
yeah.
that's perfect.
That was
Yeah.
pretty good.
That's
That's
exactly
actually
like
super
him.
close.
Wow, Chase, that was a good job.
Yeah, what can I
Hashtag
say?
facts.
Yeah, no, that was bad.
And he's the first one to die
Yeah, thank God.
because the critters invade the apartment building.
The
Yeah,
eggs.
the critters, they do that thing at the truck stop that all like 80s and 90s horror movies love to do, where they show the POV of
Yeah.
the
Like
monster.
Halloween
Yeah.
and shit.
Like
yeah.
they do that
First
in this
person.
movie a lot, where they
Yeah.
show the view of the critter and what he's seeing, and he's hiding in the grass, like maybe 11 feet away from the main character.
Yeah.
None of them
And they
could
can't
see him.
they can't see this critter, like
Yeah.
and it's like this. It's like and it's like making all sorts of noises, like the POV of it, like walking up, and it gets super close, and then the character turns at the last second, walks
Yeah.
away, and you're like, oh, I guess they're saving the drama for later. But like, and they do that, they do the POV thing, and then they also do that thing with the audio where the monsters' sound effects are like 5 different noises.
Oh my
yeah.
god!
dubbed
Its
over.
shriek, like when it gets hurt, is like 5 different levels of a woman screaming.
It's like
Yeah.
Oh my
a
God,
person
like,
screaming.
all mixed together.
It's a person
Yeah.
screaming. It is
So
literally a person.
It's like
weird.
different tones and stuff.
So
yeah.
weird.
It's, and that was actually like really like not even aggravating. That was like kind of actually scary.
Super.
Yeah, that
Like,
was
it
the
made me
scariest part of the movie.
anxious. It
Yeah,
made me
that was the
anxious
scariest part of the movie.
listening-
Yeah, it was
hearing
like
that.
Uncanny Valley,
Yeah.
or something. It's like so odd you can't
Yeah.
quite put your finger on it.
Oh,
All right, so Frank dies, the weird janitor, laundry
Eaten
guy.
alive in the
He
basement.
gets
Yeah,
eaten alive by
thank
the
God.
critters.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
He's up against the thing. He's like, and he's shaking.
Yeah.
He's shaking, and he's
the
just
critters
being
biting
eaten.
onto his stomach and it's eating him
He
alive.
can't fight them, even though they're like the size of a throw pillow.
yeah,
And
yeah.
who's the second character to die?
The
Oh,
stepdad,
the
Stepdad.
Leo's
Leo.
stepdad.
Before that,
stepdad.
that's a little farther in the movies. Before that, there's another side character who's like a fat older lady who lives alone
Yeah.
She's
And-
always
doing laundry.
She's always in nurse pants and a flowered shirt, and her hair is always in curlers.
Yeah.
The whole movie.
And she's eating
She
a
even
donut.
changes her flowered shirt to a different colored flowered shirt.
Typical
And she's eating a
apartment
donut.
lady.
She's
So
eating
weird.
a donut as she goes downstairs to the laundry.
They want you to know that this is the fat character.
She's
Yeah.
a fat,
Yep.
stupid character.
All right, you're gonna be the fat bitch. So let's grab one of these donuts.
Yeah. That's what
Hey.
it should be in the
Hey,
credits.
let's see the fat bitch.
It should be that's what it should be in the credits. Diane Voss or whatever,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
fat bitch.
Fat bitch.
Fat bitch with donut.
Let's see, who played the fat bitch?
I mean, yeah, it is true. Like
Her
that's
name's Diane or Becky or Beth.
It was
or-
Diana Bellamy.
but it
It's
is.
Diana.
Diana Bellamy,
Oh my God.
Called it.
and her name in the movie was Rosalie.
Rosalie,
Mhm.
fat
Jesus.
bitch number 1.
Yeah, like they really didn't have to have her come down with a donut. I mean, you could see that
Oh,
she
so
was
bad.
a little bit.
She's
more
coming down the
round.
stairs. She's terrified
You
of
know,
the
like,
basement.
come
She's
on.
like, Frank! And Frank's already eaten by the critters.
Yeah.
So his dead body is on the ground being eaten. And she's walking down the stairs. She's like, Frank! And she's holding a basket of laundry and a donut. And then she walks over to the washer and she wants to put her donut down. And there's like spilled like chemicals and cleaning stuff and bleach and rats and disgusting. This is the worst basement ever. She just dusts off the corner and then
Oh,
lays
yeah.
the donut down. Like
On
I'll,
top of powdered laundry detergent.
I'll go
Yeah.
back for that.
She puts her donut down.
She puts it down like, oh, I'll go back for that.
Oh my god.
And then she turns
Get it
away.
because she's fat. She's a fat bitch.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
fat,
yeah.
stupid
She's a
bitch.
fucking fat
And then
bitch.
she turns away. She turns back around, and the donut's gone.
Oh, the critters ate
And
it.
she's like, that's it, Frank. Like she still thinks it's Frank. Like Frank's not down here.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
not
yeah.
alive.
He's fucking dead.
Frank's fucking
So she
dead.
sees the body, and all of a sudden she starts getting attacked by critters.
Yeah,
Mhm.
one gets burnt by the bleach, right? And then like
Oh,
the rest.
Yeah, yeah. That was a weird thing where it seemed like foreshadowing when they did that, but
Yeah,
they never
yeah.
went back to it.
Like, ooh, the critter's weakness is bleach.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
she spilled
yeah.
bleach, and then the thing rolled out of the dryer after her, and rolled in the bleach, and the bleach burned it like how water burns gremlins. It's
Yeah,
pretty
they-
much the same exact thing.
Should have gotten super soakers.
No.
They could have got super soakers with bleach in it. That's a
Oh.
fucking
Yeah.
great idea.
Hell yeah.
Damn.
So she escapes because the young adult, the older sister, comes down, saves her.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, shit hits the fan.
She hits the fan. That's
Yeah.
when like, oh god, what's going on? And all of a sudden, every side character in the building.
Yeah, but hold on there. Take a moment. Cut back to it. this is when the moment when they tie back in Leo.
Yeah, so then
Leo drives up with the stepdad.
Yeah, the rich asshole stepdad of his, who happens to be buying the exact same building.
Yeah,
And he's evicting everyone out.
Yeah, they came up with a plot to evict all the people. I don't know why. They never explain why.
He just wants them out.
He just is a mean guy and wants them to lose their homes. So he actually had Frank. He had Frank in on his plot because he was buying the building. Apparently, he was going to keep Frank. Frank was the only thing that worked there, and he had him planting rats in the apartments and purposefully doing his job terribly to hopefully get them out. And that's when he cuts the power.
Yeah, he shows up, he cuts the power, he cuts the phone
He brings
line.
Leo in the basement, and he's like, this will get him good. And
This is
he
like the worst
takes a
timing.
fucking pair of bolt cutters to the main line of power.
Smart move.
With no repercussions. He doesn't get electrocuted or anything. The power just goes, and he's in the house.
Yeah.
Like, you're there. You just put the power out on yourself, dude.
Yeah.
Like, now you can't see. Duh.
And he keeps calling Leo Sport.
Calls Leo Sport 500 times.
Yeah.
And then he gets eaten by a group of critters who are watching a cooking show on a TV. They walk in, they're like, what are they doing in there? And they walk in, and then Leo's like, screw you, stepdad.
Yeah, he's like, don't call me Sport.
Stop calling me Sport.
He's like, listen, man, I don't mind if you bang my mom, but can you call me by my name? And he's like, sure thing, Sport. And then Leo slams the door in his face.
And he's like, I hope he die.
But he didn't say that.
He gets killed.
And he gets eaten by critters.
Second victim.
And then Leo hears it, and he's like, oh my God, what did I do? He didn't know that he was trapping him in the room with critters. He thought he was trapping him in the room with just regular tenants, but it was critters. And he gets eaten alive. And then Flare Lady shows up.
Oh yeah, then fucking Laura Croft comes out of nowhere with her goddamn triangle titties. And
so now that every character's in the dark, they're like, oh my God, what's going on? The lady got her leg bit by one of the critters, the fat bitch. So then they're all sitting there, and the lady shows up with a flare. I could have
swore they go up the stairs, and they meet her at the top of the stairs because she's holding the flare. It's all red. And she's like, there's critters, and they bit me, and they've got teeth, and they're bad.
Yeah.
That's the lady with the flare.
Yeah.
But then how does she then make her way downstairs and find Leo?
Because she goes down there.
Why? Because then she
check
goes
out the power, probably.
She goes back up with Leo, and then she's like, help, it's us.
Yeah, she probably went down there to check on the power.
Oh, yeah, she works for the telephone company.
That is fucking useless.
And they're checking the phone line, remember? So then she goes down and checks the phone.
She goes down a
lot. Yeah, she got the flare, bro.
Yeah, instead of getting out of the building, her priority was to get the phone line.
Yeah, that's the weirdest thing. That's the weirdest thing in the movie. As soon as the guy cuts the power,
just get the
it
fuck
was
out.
like as if they were trapped. Like they couldn't leave the house for some reason.
Yeah, the doors
it's literally just like it's just like this house. Like I could just like leave this house right now.
Yeah, they could have just
and walk out into the
door.
street and then like be not
Makes
here.
Makes no sense. It's not like it's walked by like a mechanism when the power goes out. The doors are stuck.
This isn't Disney's smart house.
Yeah. Oh,
you like that?
This isn't.
You guys like that?
This isn't Dread. They're not stuck in some
another good one. Another good one.
Skyscraper.
This isn't Speed.
Yeah, they're not stuck on a bus going 55 miles per hour.
This isn't Speed 2.
Yeah, they're not stuck on a cruise ship.
The guy with the what the hell are they called? The leeches. Remember that part? He's got the can full of leeches, and he puts like the leeches on his body or something fucking weird. This is the bad guy.
This isn't Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah, where they're trapped on a plane.
We could go
Fun
on.
fact, never saw that movie.
This isn't.
Yeah, never saw it.
This isn't Inception.
It's what it is.
This isn't Inception, where they're stuck in a dream.
Oh my God.
Within a dream.
You like that? Hey, like how I did that? Because Leo again.
All right, let's get back to critters. So let's finish this shit. So what happens next? They're lady with the flare. They're trying to turn the phones back on.
Critters are wreaking havoc, dude.
Oh yeah, now the critters are going full goofy.
The best part happens coming up. I'm sad to say Mike missed it.
Oh yeah, I got up to go grab a drink.
He got up to go grab a drink. He heard it, but he didn't see it. But the critters, they kind of make it seem like they're trapped in the house because the critters were coming up the stairs and the elevator was broken.
Okay,
those are the two things that they kind of
put it that way. I guess
they do early on explain that the elevator's broken, so it's like okay, they can't go down the elevator, and then like they do show the critters coming up the stairs.
Okay, put it like that.
But it's still no excuse. There's windows. They're critters. They're the size of throw pillows. You just jump over and run down the stairs. It's whatever. But so then the critters are making it up the stairs. Flare Lady finds Leo. She goes back up the stairs. They go into the old couple's apartment.
Which is the grandma.
Surprise! The old couple. The grandma is
The grandma from Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore's grandma with the kiss mask. Yeah.
Oh yeah, with the tongue.
Yeah. Shooter McGavin makes out with her in the
It
dream.
is Frances Bay.
That's her name, Frances
Old
Bay.
Bay seasoning.
Yep.
She's
She
dead,
died
right?
in 2011 at the age of 92.
Wow, goddamn.
Wow,
And you know
she-
what's crazy?
she lived a lot longer than
What year was Happy Gilmore?
Ooh, 96, I want to say.
And what year was this movie?
91.
Right? She seemed older in this movie
Yeah, she did.
than
Oh, yeah,
she
she
did in
did.
Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because
She
she
was
got
like
that.
super old and frail, like she was 92 and was about to die.
She got that Critters 3 money. And got some work
She
done.
had the Critters 3 bank.
Yeah, the 10
She got
grand
that
she got
fucking
from
Yeah,
bank.
that's 10. That is 9,000 more generous than I expected.
And then so they get upstairs, they go into the old people's apartment, they block the door, but then Leo's like, I saw them, they chewed through a wooden door downstairs, we're fucked. And then they're
yeah.
like, okay. And then she looks up and she sees the attic thing. And then she's like, what's that? And she's like, oh, that's a storage space, which it's called an attic. So then they're like, we'll go up in the attic. But the big fat donut lady and the dad had earlier been stung by the critters can shoot out porcupine quills out their backs.
Oh,
And
yep.
apparently they're
Yep.
laced with some kind of like poison, but really it's just like ecstasy.
Yeah,
Because the dad and the fat lady got shot and they were like on the couch cuddling with each other, like
Yeah.
acting goofy, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they're like, do you guys think that you could make it up the ladder? And they're like, no, we'll ladder tomorrow. Like trying
Yeah.
to be all cute about it. It's
Yeah,
like, what are
yeah.
they on? Like, they're supposed to be poisoned. They should just die.
Yeah.
There should be more casualties in this movie.
Yeah, this movie, not enough people die in this movie.
Yeah, the poison
Yeah.
should do
Is
it in
anyone
for you.
else?
No, I think only two.
And the
two
fat
people
lady
die.
Yeah,
and the
that's
fat
it.
lady got bit on the leg, and nothing happened with her.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
she's
she was
not, like-
fine.
She should have
Yeah,
got
she's fine.
poisoned and infected and
Yeah,
died.
that's it. 2 people. That's it.
That's
That's
it.
fucking lame.
That's
as fuck,
very
bro.
crazy.
So then they're like, okay, we'll go up on the ladder. And then the daughter's like, Dad, go up the ladder. And he's like, okay. So he goes up the ladder, and they're all up in the attic. And then this is the best part: the critters break into the apartment right as the last person, who's the flare lady, is going up the ladder to close it into the attic. She's going up and she looks around and she sees the cabinet under the sink shaking. And she's like, oh my God, they're here. And the cabinet door flies open and there's a critter just standing there. And he's like, rah! And he fucking waves his little hand.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, rah!
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, she's going up the ladder. And then all of a sudden critters start coming out of every corner of the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
just-
when it goes full gremlins.
Critters
These
just-
critters are doing goofy ass shit.
They just
Yeah.
flood in. They're trying to attack her. She kicks one. She punches one. They get up in the thing. They close it, and then boom! It's critter party time.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's party
They-
time.
One starts drinking dish
Excellent.
soap. One's pouring flour out of the cabinet.
Yeah,
on the
one's
other
drinking
one's
soap. Yeah,
That
And the
one-
beans.
yeah. One guy, grandma was making bean and ham soup or something.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
She's like, I'm making hot beans and ham or fucking something.
What the fuck?
Yeah, the critter knows that she was making it for some reason. He heard her, and he tipped it over, and he's eating the beans.
And those little custard pies.
Those
The
little custard pies.
And the fucking they start throwing the custard pies at everything.
Yeah, they're having
so
they're having
stupid.
a full blown food fight.
Yeah.
It's basically like Gremlins. If you've seen
It's
Gremlins,
Gremlins.
they're acting goofy. They love each
So
other,
stupid.
and they're just having a party, dude. One's playing the drums with 2 sticks.
Oh,
He's playing drums on the fucking flour.
Yeah.
Oh, hilarious!
all right. So then they're trying to find a way
They
out.
sneak through the attic.
Yeah, I mean, this movie's we're getting towards the end.
The plot is so simple.
It's so simple. The
the whole movie is just them trying to get out of the house or make contact with the outside
So
world.
the flare lady's trying to get out to get on a phone to phone like the cops.
Yeah.
The basement's on fire, so the building's gonna blow
Yeah,
up at any
basement.
point.
Yeah, at one
Yeah.
point she shoves the flare down a critter's mouth. He falls down the chute. The fucking basement falls, catches on fire. So now they're like have no time.
Yeah, and then they all end up eventually getting to the roof.
They make it to the roof. They don't know what to do.
Yeah. Oh, before that, the guy earlier in the movie who seemed like he knew a lot about critters from the earlier critters
Knock off
movies.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah. He
Flashback
shows up,
guy.
saves them, kills a couple critters. Now they're on the roof. He starts killing some critters. Then like the grandma uses a meat cleaver, cuts one in half.
Oh, yeah, dude.
that's
Happy
badass.
Gilmore's grandma fucking
Yeah.
dices that
He
thing,
shoots
dude.
a couple, and then that's pretty much it. The movie, I mean,
Yeah, then they did they even make it off the roof?
Yeah, but I was trying to
The
remember.
guy
I don't know if
falls
they
off.
show it. The
They
guy
don't even
falls
show
off.
them falling off. The guy falls off the roof, and then you hear sirens.
so the last critter that's alive sees the young boy
Yep.
standing there. He starts speeding up like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they have
And
that
he
Sonic
zooms at him,
move.
and he's about to knock the kid off the roof of the fucking hotel. Apartment building, and the fucking dude, the Ghostbuster guy, jumps in front of him, flies off the fucking rooftop with the critter, and you're like, oh no, he's gonna die.
Yeah.
But no, he lived.
He caught a flagpole.
Yeah.
He grabbed a flagpole. He lives, and that's pretty much it.
And then there's a hard cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Basically, it says
Oh
to
my-
be
oh,
continued.
yeah.
Oh
The
my
crit-
god!
it
Yeah,
drags it
then there's
out.
it's not an end credit scene. It's literally a credit scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole
Yeah.
credits is a scene that's leading into Critters 4.
Yeah.
See, I'm surprised I haven't seen that before too, where it was they show you some of the credits, they start going down the list, then they pause it, they show like the clip of him, like after he gets off the ground, he thinks he's like he hears one, so he's going. Then they do like more credits, so it's like it's like they basically force you to read all the credits and just give you like a minute of the film, then like 30
Then more
seconds of
credits.
credits, then a minute of like the
Yeah.
the last scene. But yeah, and then he sees, of course. What,
That's
he
when-
sees the egg?
That's
No,
when
not
it
the
ties
eggs.
back into where the critters come from. They come
Oh,
from
yeah.
space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
these
what
are
the whole,
aliens.
That's the whole thing with this.
These
They come
are,
from space,
yes.
and apparently in previous critter movies, our hero knockoff Ghostbuster teamed up with some humanoid alien,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
were like flying around in a spaceship, and so
Right.
it just ties back into that. He gets a call from his spaceship buddy.
Yeah, someone from a previous Critters.
And
There's a lot of tie-ins with the
He
previous. Critter
finds
movies.
2 eggs in the dryer, and it's the last 2 eggs, and the guy on the thing's like, you have a job from the Galactic Network space program creatures thing. You can't kill those 2 eggs because that's the last 2 eggs of that species, and it's against galactic rule to kill any species and cause an extinction.
Oh,
So what
yeah.
you have to do is we're going to send you a pod. You have to put the eggs in the pod, and then we'll keep them. And you're just like, oh god, it sounds like a disaster.
Oh
Like,
god, I have to see Critters 4.
they're just
Yeah.
asking for Critters 4, 5,
Yeah.
and 6.
Well, that's our
Critters 3 in a nutshell.
that's Critters 3 in a nutshell.
So I mean, Leo was in it. I mean, he was
He's in it.
listed
yeah,
third.
yeah. I mean, it's one. I think it's his first movie. He's in it. He's actually in a good amount.
And he was
he's not the
fine.
star. And he's actually
He
not
was fine.
bad in the movie. To be honest, he doesn't stand out like, oh god, who's that kid? He sucks.
Yeah.
He's fine. But should we do user reviews like one?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I'll just read the headlines of a couple.
I'd love to see a
This
positive
movie's bad.
one.
Yeah, this movie's like fun bad.
Yeah.
So like, no, come on, people. The third installment was still pretty good. That's one review, 5 out of 10. Little sharp teeth stand-up comedians, 4 out of 10. Not as good as the first 2, but it still has some fun moments. 5.
Some people loved it, dude.
Did they?
Yeah. Eek.
Read one really good review. Tom.
Eek. Critters
Hashtag
in my
review man.
house. 10 out of 10. February 17th, 2006. Critters in my house. Critters in my house. Critters in my ... Well, you get the idea. Critters 3, like many other horror films of the time, is awesome. Everything is there for all to enjoy. The ability to get scared is so much fun. The fear of having critters in your house is so much fun. The suspense of this happening is so much fun. All in all, you're watching this movie with so much fun. I think this person teaches like 1st or 2nd grade.
Yes. Yeah.
I'd like to mention what to watch. Not on Halloween night. They're saying this is scary. They're wrong. Look, another 10 out of 10. This film is awesome. 10 out of 10. The installment of the thrilling series. I mean, it was a fun movie.
It was a fun movie. I'd rather watch
It was
this
different.
than
Generation
Generation
Um.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Generation
this is
Um
our
was
second
boring
episode.
and pretentious.
We're-
This movie
Yeah.
was campy
and fun.
and goofy
Yeah, and fun.
and fun to watch with 2 buddies.
This is a fun late night movie.
Yeah.
You get high. And
Hilarity.
watch it.
Yeah.
Hilarity.
And
Hilarity
we're gonna
ensued.
as we go on in this podcast, we're going to watch a lot of bad movies. And as of right now, this is a fun bad movie that I can
I'm
watch
gonna
again.
I'm gonna
I-
watch Critters 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6 just
Yeah,
on my own.
I could actually watch. I actually am
Yeah, I
interested.
know. Yeah.
Like
But-
I'm gonna laugh.
All right, let's quickly go over some of Leo's worst movies. Then we'll decide
Oh,
are these
okay.
truly his best / worst.
None of
Critters
which you've
3
seen.
is his worst IMDb rating. It's 4.4. You got Poison Ivy, who he's not even a lead in. I don't even know what this movie is. You got Don's Plum, which is a historic movie because it was only released in like Europe market, markets outside the United States. It was blocked by Leo from ever coming out because from what I've heard about this movie, Don's Plum, is that like there wasn't much like the director like just told them to like talk whatever they wanted. I guess there's a lot of sexual shit
Yeah.
where they talk about like, because at that time Leo and the Pussy Posse were very like kind of like womanizing, and I guess there's like a lot of
Pussy
womanizing
Posse.
shit in this movie. So like they were kind of embarrassed, like him, Tobey Maguire, and shit, and like E from Entourage were very embarrassed by this movie. So it
Yeah.
never came out in America. So there's that. You got The Quick and the Dead, where Leo's like
the
a western.
beach, dude.
Is that low? Oh, that's not that low.
6.6.
That's in his low 10. Yeah,
Beach is
I like
great
that
though.
movie.
The Beach is a
Yeah.
good movie. I wouldn't. I
I
mean,
like
from
that
his bad
movie.
movies, Celebrity, it's a Woody Allen movie. I think
Total Eclipse.
this. It's Critters 3.
Yeah.
There's no way it's not Critters 3.
Are you sure though?
Yes, dude.
I don't know, cause like his role in this movie is so like he's a young kid. It's like
I think even
he can't
Leo's.
fuck this movie
I think
up.
even Leo's movies where he's the main guy aren't as bad as this. Like,
Really?
Like, I've heard J. Edgar, which I've never seen, but it's the Clint Eastwood movie, J. Edgar,
Yeah.
where he plays that leader, the head of the FBI.
Romeo
I heard that movie
Juliet.
kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you that movie's better than Critters 3, dude.
Yeah.
It's tough to rate a movie like this because it's just so openly goofy on its face of it. It's tough.
Yeah, but
It's
do
like
you
it's
think
like
when they were making
Sharknado.
this, they thought it was me.
It's like Sharknado. You can't be like, oh, Sharknado is a stupid movie because it's about a movie about a fucking tornado with sharks in it. Like, yeah, it's called Sharknado. Like, they're doing it to be funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's hard to say that, oh, this movie's bad because maybe it did what it was supposed to do.
Well, what do
Made
you
us
think?
laugh. It was
Let's go around
funny.
the room. Let's see, Chase. What do you think? Best/worst.
Well, I think the tough thing is it's because obviously Leo has a great track record, so it's almost like I try to think of it like the worst movie he's been a part of. Or like the
If you put it that
overall-
way, it's got to be.
Then
there's no
yeah,
way
then I
this
would
is
say
not.
I guess then it's got to be Critters because then you would look at it from like a budget standpoint. So I would say that. I mean,
Romeo and Juliet.
That's a good movie.
that's actually I love
like
that
movie. That's a good fucking movie.
I remember
What's
that movie.
Marvin's Room.
I've heard of that movie. What's that movie? I don't know. Go on with Chase with your point.
But yeah, because I mean, I'm sure there's probably some movies where he's the lead in, and the movies don't live up to. I mean, it is, but I understand it's tough. It's just like Leo is going to get away with a good worst movie
Yeah.
because even though it's his worst movie, we enjoyed watching it. We actually now want to watch the other movies, the other Critters.
Yeah.
So it's like compared to like Keanu Reeves last week, it definitely leaves a different taste in your mouth.
Yeah, because his movies aren't nearly as bad as Keanu Reeves. Like, Keanu
Yeah.
Reeves has a
Yeah.
lot of stinkers on
Yeah,
this.
Yeah, where it's like hard.
Most of his stinkers of Leo's stinkers are like from early in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of Leo's best movie?
Inception, that is a great movie. You know, it goes back to all the parodies like South Park and Inception, A Dream Within a Dream. Like that was like a huge thing in culture. Especially on the internet with memes and shit like that. I mean, it's tough though. It's tough for me to be able to commit to say it's his best, in my opinion, because there's so many other good movies that he's in, man.
Like, I think like I've already said, mine be very quick. I think his best performance is Wolf of Wall Street. I think
Yeah.
The Revenant, he won Best Actor, but he doesn't talk a lot in that movie. I think his best performance where he's the leading man is Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
It's a over 2.5
I mean,
hour movie.
even
Yeah,
for
I
me,
agree.
like
I agree
Catch
with
Me
that.
If You Can, that holds like a good,
He's
a
great in
nice
that
spot
one,
in my heart just because I love that movie.
Blood
Yeah.
Diamond. I love
Blood Diamond
Yeah.
gives, I
It's
think,
great.
one of the best, especially not even just South African, but like accent, I
Yeah.
think, performance. But yeah, so I mean, I would say I can't commit to say it's his best one, and unfortunately, I can't tell you what his best movie is.
It's hard.
His track record
hard.
speaks for itself. It's consistent.
It is. He's very consistent. What do you think, Tom? It's your opinion, man. If you think Critters
Wolf
3...
on Wall Street is definitely his best performance, and is definitely like top 3 of his best movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to. Yeah,
Like
that's
I'd say
definitely-
top 3 is Wolf on Wall Street, The Departed, and Inception.
Yes.
Those are his top.
I could
Yeah.
honestly stick with
The
that.
Wolf on Wall Street is his best performance as an actor, but probably not the best
I
movie.
think right below that is The Revenant. I think
I
it's
would
an amazing
say-
movie, but like you don't
yeah,
want to
right
rewatch
below.
it. It's a great performance, but like I said, he doesn't talk a lot in the
Yeah,
movie.
it's just one of those movies that The Revenant is one of those movies where you have to see it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's like Dallas Buyers Club. I haven't
Yeah.
seen that movie, but it's one of those movies that you do see, but it's not one of those movies that you're like, that's
You're not
my
gonna
favorite
rewatch it.
movie.
Yeah, you're
not
That's my
gonna
favorite
rewatch it,
movie.
yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
movie. I watch it all the time. Like,
Yeah,
no, dude.
You
don't
can
do
rewatch
that.
Inception. You can rewatch
But
Wall Street.
For his best movie, my struggle is between Inception and The Departed, because The Departed, I feel like, is actually comparable to Inception, where there's a group of people who act and pull off an amazing performance in one movie.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Departed does that.
Yeah, Matt Damon's great.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson.
Yep.
I mean,
That fucking
Alec Baldwin's good
Yeah.
in his small
Yep.
role. You got Mark
Mark
Wahlberg in a small
Wahlberg.
role.
Who's
He's
the old
probably
guy?
best of his career.
The old guy that gets thrown off the fucking building. The old guy with the white hair, who's like on the other side of Leo. It's Mark Wahlberg and the old guy
Oh my god, you're killing me right
on
now.
the
I can't
cop
think of it.
side. And then in the bad side is Matt Damon and Jack Nicholson.
Oh, Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen.
Yeah,
He's fucking wicked good in that movie,
Mm.
right? So that's a movie just like Inception, where there's a group of people who all pull off amazing performances and make an amazing movie. I think my vote is The Departed.
Okay.
I think
And
my
what about
vote
worse?
and because when people ask me, like, people talk about the best mafia movie, and people always want to say like, oh, Godfather
Or Goodfellas.
Goodfellas, and it's like it can't be the best if it was made in the last 10 years. Like, that's against the rules.
Yeah.
But I disagree. I think one of the best mafia movies ever is The Departed.
Oh, hands down.
I really think it
hands
is.
down.
Yeah,
I think
it's
it is.
also about the Boston Mafia. You know?
I don't
Cool,
think The
'cause we're
Godfather is
from
easy
New
to
England.
watch. I think the fucking Godfather is a hard movie to watch. Like, it's nostalgic or whatever, but it's a fucking hard movie to get through.
Yeah.
So, but
What about
so
worst? I mean-
my vote is best for is The Departed. Worst, I feel like I can't say. This is a problem I ran into last week. I feel like I can't say this is his worst movie because I haven't seen all of these bad movies. But I enjoyed watching Critters 3
Yeah,
Well, like-
because it's
tough.
goofy.
But if you look at his
If
lower
I
movies,
watched-
Man in Iron Mask is in his bottom 5, and
Looking
I
at this
remember
right
liking that
here,
movie.
I remember liking that movie
What
too.
is-
So it's like-
yeah.
what is total
I know
Eclipse?
Critters 3 is worse. I know it.
What's
Yeah.
total? What is Total Eclipse? I bet
I don't know, I
I
feel like I've
couldn't
heard of
watch Total Eclipse unless I was like it was my job to do it. I couldn't sit there and watch that whatever that fucking crappy looking movie is, or the one with the fucking Puss Squad, Don's Plum.
Yeah.
I bet that is worse than
that-
Critters.
I feel like that could
just
be
like
the only runner-up could be that Don's Plum movie, but we could
Just
watch
like
it,
how
and it wasn't released in
Generation-
America, so it's like kind of
we all agree Generation is worse than Critters. I bet Don's Plum is worse than Critters in the same
I
way.
guarantee you, Don's Plum is probably on the Generation
Yeah.
Boredom, pretentious,
Boredom,
trying to be
pretentious,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking. Look at this. A group of Los Angeles teenagers meet every week at their local diner to discuss their latest misadventures in their miserable lives. That
movie's
sounds
probably
pretentious.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean that's a tough thing too.
best The Departed, worst not The Critters 3.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
So
Well,
those are my
it's
two.
been fun. Leo's a good actor to discuss.
He's got a great
Discuss.
track
He's-
record.
Yeah, he has a good list.
Yeah, he's got a good
He's
list.
got a wicked good
this,
list.
This is a fun one.
Yeah.
I think his
For
only
sure.
regret is not hanging dong in Titanic.
Yeah, Titanic is
I always forget it. We didn't even talk about Titanic once.
No, I
It's
mean,
Titanic.
we don't
It's
even
but-
bring
and
it up.
that movie. No, that's. I mean, we don't even have to get into it. But like, I remember my sister, my oldest sister. She saw that movie like 6 times probably when it was in.
Yeah,
My
the
mom saw it
impact,
2 or 3
the
times.
the social impact of that movie
Yeah.
was like comparable to like The Matrix.
Yeah,
we-
and Avatar. Like,
And
with,
Avatar.
That's
fucking-
what skyrocketed
Like
Leo to
that's
fucking,
the only
Yeah.
movie
the
in
moon.
my whole life that my whole like me and my entire immediate family went and saw together. Like
Yeah.
me, my dad, my mom, and my 2 sisters
Yeah.
went together to the theater and watched Titanic.
Hmm.
I've never watched a movie with all those people.
Yeah.
Except the Titanic.
I mean,
and I
you
remember
could've-
like it was a whole thing like you cry at the end of Titanic. Like I
Yeah.
knew I was gonna cry at the end of Titanic before I saw Titanic.
Yeah.
And me and my sister had a thing. We had like she was like I'm gonna watch you at the end, and if you cry, you lose because she's my older sister and she's mean. So it's like if you cry, you lose. And then like I remember I was like I'm not gonna cry, and I fucking cried my eyes out at the end. I was a little kid, but I fucking cried, man. And I looked over at my dad. He wasn't crying. He wasn't
Oh my
crying.
god.
You know what got me good was Armageddon. I cried in that.
Green
in
Mile.
I did too,
theaters.
actually. Yeah, I did.
Green Mile gets me.
The
Always.
Patriot got me. I mean, dude, I've cried.
And
I've cried
fucking-
in too many movies.
Too many movies.
The Green Mile. I wouldn't cry. I won't cry at Titanic. I wouldn't cry at Titanic.
Probably not
again.
now.
I was a
Maybe
little kid then.
Yeah.
But Green Mile will make me cry. And Warrior.
Oh, I've cried
yeah.
multiple
Warrior
times.
will make me
I
cry.
guarantee I could watch it right now and I'd still
Tommy?
cry. Yeah.
Tommy,
There's
what
something
are you
about
doing
that movie,
here?
the brother connection. That movie gets me for some reason.
Hey, you got some
And
stones,
the
Brendan.
dad.
You got some stones, Brendan. I'm not surprised you made it into the championship. Oh, I'm gonna cry just talking about it.
Well, guys, thank you for listening. This has been episode 2. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
See you next week.
Not like these. Hey guys, I can't believe you made it all this way. Thanks for listening. You're still listening. You're a champ. You're a soldier. Follow us on Instagram at best/worst. Subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play, and give us a listen on whatever your preferred platform is. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.